Midweek Sport
on BBC Radio Shropshire
with Mary Kate Wielden.
I can't believe it! And he takes the opportunity with both hands. What a moment! Pandemonium in the away end.
Good evening and welcome to Ellen Road, the home of Leeds United. So many greats of the game have graced this stadium, and this is where Shrewsbury Town hope to perform an upset in the Carabao Cup against a crop of current Leeds stars. We're with you for the next 4 hours, so stay tuned to BBC Radio Shropshire for full match coverage.
I'm Stuart Dunn at Ellen Road, where Shrewsbury Town have travelled to for the first time since 2012. It's always a big occasion facing Leeds United here, a club just relegated from the Premier League after 3 years in the top flight. Town have had their moments to really remember in both the FA Cup and League Cup in recent years. Can tonight be another of those special evenings in front of a crowd expected to be over 30,000? Full commentary to come, as always then, right here on BBC Radio Shropshire 96 FM.
Well, it's a big night for Shrewsbury Town, but head coach Matt Taylor says he wants his side to play without any fear.
We're going to have to deal with a lot of rotations. We're going to have to deal with some really skillful footballers. I think we've got that in our locker, and what a challenge, right? We can go to Leeds. You know, I imagine there'll be a decent crowd there. What an atmosphere! What a stadium! Let's go and try and win the game.
Well, coming up, we'll hear from Shrewsbury Town head coach Matt Taylor and new midfielder Nohan Kenner. We've got team news as well coming up in about 40 minutes. Leeds United against Shrewsbury Town is live here on BBC Radio Shropshire with kick-off at 7:45.
Midweek Sport
on BBC Radio Shropshire.
Well, good evening and welcome to Ellen Road, where Shrewsbury Town take on Championship side Leeds United tonight in the Football League Trophy. It's quite a nice evening. It's a lot nicer than Saturday, where I'd got my gloves and my big coat on. It's quite a warm evening tonight. We've had quite a warm drive up. Of course, I'm here with Stuart Dunn tonight and Nick Southall, who are your commentary team tonight. A lovely warm evening instead of Saturday when we were absolutely freezing, it's fair to say.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. It's one of those nights when you get out of the car and you're debating, do I need a coat, do I not need a coat? I've just had a little wander around Ellen Road, this famous old ground, and I'm certainly a bit warmer than I was when I set off on my stroll around Ellen Road. But it's a feature when you come to somewhere like Leeds United. A lot of the grounds that Shrewsbury go to in League One, when we arrive an hour and a half, 2 hours before kick-off, it can be very quiet. You walk around Ellen Road 2.5 hours before kick-off, and it is so busy because Leeds, as we know, is such a well-supported football club, and we're told by club officials, because we were talking on the way up, weren't we, wondering how big the crowd might be here tonight, and we're told that there should be comfortably over 30,000 people here tonight. Capacity is about 36.5, I think it is, at Ellen Road these days. Of course, it's full for whenever Leeds played here in the Premier League, and it will be pretty close to full tonight for the visit of Shrewsbury Town. And fantastic that over 1,000 plus Town fans are heading to West Yorkshire as well, and I'm sure they'll be keen to make themselves heard for this big cup night.
Yeah, we're here, and you can't imagine that in about an hour's time that there'll be over 30,000 people here, because when you look and when you come to these games and you're here nice and early, there must be about, I'd say, a good couple of hundred stewards. There's a lot of people in Orange. I don't think I've ever seen so many stewards at an away game, but that's when you can tell, when there's so many people here, you can tell it's going to be a big night when they've got loads and loads of people around. Well, the last time that Shrewsbury were here, they've only been here once this century, and that was back in 2012 when they lost 4-0 in the League Cup. Just your thoughts ahead of tonight's game, and what is a big game, but a game which isn't unrealistic, that they could cause an upset. You
never know in the Cup, and Shrewsbury have had some good scalps, haven't they, in the FA Cup and the League Cup over the years, and certainly in recent times as well. You mentioned when Town were last here. I was here that day. That was a League Cup first round tie, and Neil Warnock was the Leeds manager, and Leeds ended up winning 4-0 that day. So we're going back a long time. I thought that flattered Leeds. Shrewsbury had their chances. It was one of those days where they couldn't quite find the finishing touch when it mattered, and Leeds were pretty clinical going forward. 11 years on, Shrewsbury will of course be hoping for much, much more and much better fortune here tonight, and I don't see why they shouldn't come here with some optimism. Yes, of course, Leeds will be big favourites. They're a club just down from the Premier League. Yes, they've got quite a long injury list at the moment, but Daniel Farker, the manager, former Norwich City boss, has still a strong squad, plenty of selection options at his disposal. For Leeds, it's all about getting back in the Premier League, isn't it, at the first time of asking. They are such a big football club, but I'm sure they'd love to have a cup run as well. I know that Shrewsbury would dearly love to be the same as well, because the longer you're in a cup competition, the more interest can grow, and of course it can bring important finance to a football club as well. Shrewsbury will come here boosted by the manner of their performance on Saturday. I thought they played very well against Cheltenham. I don't really like the phrase free hit, but you get what I'm saying. It's one of those tonight where Shrewsbury come here as the underdogs. Leeds are the big favourites. Shrewsbury have a big away game to come at newly promoted Stevenage in League One on Saturday, but let's be greedy. Let's hope they can get a result at Stevenage and get a result here tonight at Leeds, because we have seen over the years they have come to big grounds and have performed well and given great account to themselves, and they'll be hoping to do the same here tonight and cause Leeds United problems. And remember, if the teams are level at the end of 90 minutes, no extra time, it'll be straight into a penalty shootout. And we saw last night, didn't we, a number of championship clubs losing to lower league opposition, either in the 90 minutes or in extra time as well. So a night certainly to look forward to, because it's great for Shrewsbury to be involved in this sort of match, isn't it? This sort of occasion. And you've got to be realistic. You look at the list of teams they could have got at this stage of the competition, and you would have to say that the three teams down from the Premier League, Southampton, Leeds and Leicester, are the toughest opposition they could have got. And here they are at Ellen Road, playing in front of what will arguably be the biggest crowd of the first round, and they've got everything to gain.
Yeah, and for Shrewsbury Town as well, obviously winning their first game of the season on Saturday, it just building momentum. Even if they don't win tonight, if they can put in a really solid performance, that again will just help that momentum for Matt Taylor in his first few games. Yeah,
very much so. And for some of the players, this is going to be up there as one of the biggest games they've been involved in. We saw last season Shrewsbury go to some big stadiums and perform very well. Think back quickly to the Derby County match when there was a big crowd at Pride Park. And yeah, momentum, as you say, is so important in football. And I think it's so important, especially when you're a new manager, a new head coach, and you come to a club. You want that win to come as quickly as possible. What you don't want is to go 4 or 5 games and people keep asking and wondering, when's that first win going to come? And the fact that Town got it on Saturday and played well and kept a clean sheet, lots of positives, means they can come here tonight with a real good opportunity to show what they can do against a Leeds side. It'll be interesting to see how many changes Daniel Farker makes to his Leeds side. They played here on Sunday and came back from 2-0 down to salvage a late point against Cardiff City, 2-2 draw in front of an Ellen Road full house. It'll be interesting to see the Leeds approach to this one tonight. Interesting to see the Shrewsbury Town approach, of course, to this one. But a game certainly to look forward to. You can't. You've always got to enjoy these nights. Shrewsbury Town coming to one of the biggest stadiums in the country, one of the most well-known grounds in English football, and a chance for them to really show what they can do.
Well, certainly plenty to look forward to tonight here on BBC Radio Shropshire as Shrewsbury Town take on Leeds United in the Carabao Cup. Make sure you get involved as well. Drop us a text on 81333. Start your message with the word Shrop. Let us know what you want to see from the team tonight, team selection, score predictions. Let us know and get in touch. You can also get in touch at BBC Shrop Sport on Twitter and get in touch there and let us know your thoughts on tonight's game, because we would absolutely love to hear from you. Of course, tonight we'll have the verdict after the game. You can give us a call on 0808 100 96 96. Get in touch and have a chat with Nick Southall and myself following tonight's game. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the head coach, Matt Taylor. Good evening and welcome back to Ellen Road as Shrewsbury Town prepare to face Leeds United in the Football League Trophy tonight. We've got kick-off coming up in less than an hour and a half time, and we'll also have team news as well in less than half an hour. Make sure you have your say as well. Get in touch, drop us a text on 81333. Start your message with the word Shrop and let us know your thoughts on tonight's game. We've still got loads to come though before now and kick off. After 7 you'll hear from new midfielder Nohan Kenner, who made quite the impression on Saturday, putting in a man of the match performance on his debut. And he also played here for 8 years when he was young. He joined the club at just 11 years old and only left last season. So plenty to hear from him about his time at the club. That's all coming up between now and 7 o'clock. Now it's a lovely warm evening here at Ellen Road. Thankfully a lot warmer than the first game of the season last weekend. And there's over 1,000 Town fans making their way up tonight. So if you're one of them, then get in touch and let us know. Let us know how your journey's going, because the traffic, it's renowned apparently. I was on there speaking to Stuart Dunn on the way up, and apparently the traffic's renowned. So if you're on your way up, sat in traffic, if you're not driving, then drop us a text and let us know your thoughts on tonight's game. And drop us a prediction as well. We'd love to know what you think, if Shrewsbury Town can pull off a bit of a cup upset tonight. So make sure you let us know. Like I say, still loads coming up after 7 o'clock when Nick Southall will take over and bring you all the build-up to tonight's game. One of the key topics after the first game of the season as well was added time and how much injury time the teams are playing in this season since the rules have changed. I think Shrewsbury Town, they played 11 minutes of added time in the second half on Saturday. So a lot to talk about with managers after that. And I think Shrewsbury Town, that was the third most added time as well in the Football League on Saturday. So that's causing a little bit of conversation, a lot between managers as well. And Matt Taylor says it could have a lasting impact on teams.
I think that speaking to a lot of other managers and coaches over the weekend, that we're all in the same position. We've got to do something now to make sure that the players can cope with this, because there's a big shift. I think even the managers and the coaches in the Premier League are talking about it. So what it's going to do to the game, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't devalue the product, because players are tired and we start picking up injuries, and I'm sure everyone will do throughout the season, but we've got to now adapt. These are the rules, and we need to make sure we play within them, and we'll do everything we possibly can while we're here to make sure that the players are ready for each and every game.
Yeah, just on that point, is it something that could benefit the bigger teams, I say in quotation marks, with more strength in depth when they can bring on, you've got 5 substitutes, but if you've got more strength on the bench, you might be unfair then when you're playing 100 odd minutes?
It could do, but what I think is important for us is that we don't look at it as an excuse for anything. There'll be other clubs that are in similar situations to us that don't have the biggest squads, have some injuries. But then, I'm always a big believer in it's somebody else's chance, somebody else gets an opportunity. One thing I do know is that the players that haven't been in the squad, they're working extremely hard to make sure that they are. So it just will open up doors for other players. Is this, as I say, I think, would I have liked it when I was playing? No. It's just that it's almost like there's a stopwatch now and everything seems to get added on, and you've put into that, you've got a rule now where, unfortunately, if a player goes off injured, regardless of the injury, regardless of fault, he has to stay off for 30 seconds. So it's going to cause some chaos. I know that much. I'm sure there will be lots of coaches up and down the country tonight and tomorrow at the weekend that are really disappointed because maybe their team's conceded a goal in the 104th minute. But we all know the rules. We're all on the same level playing field, so we've got to do the best that we can with it.
That's Shrewsbury Town head coach Matt Taylor talking about all the new added time that's been added. And after the press conference earlier this week, he made a very good point, actually. He said that if every game they play this season, they play an extra 15 minutes, that's 7 extra games that they'll play this season. They already play, 46 league games, depending how far they get in the cup. They're playing over 50 games a season. Add in another 7 to that as well. That's a lot for the body to take. I've got Nick Southall with me tonight. Nick, just what do you make of these new rules?
Well, it's interesting because if you look at last season's squad for Shrewsbury, which was threadbare at the best of times, going through February and March, and then you add all of those minutes on top of it, and you can just imagine what the previous manager would have said about that, and rightly so as well. So I think it is, I wouldn't say nonsense. I can see where it's coming from, but I can see all sorts of problems for it as well. With that amount of extra kind of minutes under a player's belt, it's going to then really play into this arena of a rotated squad. I think that there will be a lot more squad rotation going on because they're going to have to look after the players, manage the number of minutes that they play. It might provide extra opportunities for maybe a few youngsters as the season goes on. But yeah, the increase in the workload is going to be a problem for the managers, and I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll talk about it.
No, and the point that I made to Matt Taylor about and I do like to use quotation marks because I don't like to say big clubs, but clubs where they've got more money and they can spend money on having a stronger bench, where you can make 5 substitutes. That will benefit those teams undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's a big advantage for. Well, yeah, it will be a big advantage for the bigger clubs because they've got more strength in depth, and they can do that rotation. They'll have depth in quality on the bench as well, and that's what Shrewsbury are looking to bring in themselves. But when you look at the bigger teams in League One, the likes of Derby County, it's going to be very difficult when you come up against those teams. And also a real emphasis on the fitness coach and the work that they do to get the best out of their team, because they will measure somebody's fitness levels over 90 minutes or so. But when you're going deeper than that, maybe 10 or even 15 minutes added on, then it's going to be a real test for how they analyse that fitness, what they can do to sustain it. I think we'll see a lot of late goals as well, because teams will tire. If you've got an FA Cup tie and you've got a non-league team holding out against a Football League side and holding out for the last 20 minutes of a game, and then all of a sudden you've got an extra 10 minutes as well, it will make it even more difficult. So I think it's just again, I can see why they look to do it, but I'm not quite sure they've got it right in terms of the impact it's going to have. When
you look at the 2 benches, especially for tonight's game, when you look at the bench that Shrewsbury had on Saturday, you've got Travis Hearns, Harvey Watts, who are both only 17. Travis making his debut. Jason Saraya's only 20. And then we go to tonight where they're playing Leeds United, who may rotate the squad, but they will have players last season that were playing in the Premier League. And when you look at that gulf, and then, they could get to 70 minutes and make 3 changes of players who have all played in the Premier League, it does seem just, I don't know, it's unfair, but it's just,
It makes it hard, right? The one thing I would say about tonight's game here at Elland Road is that the Leeds United manager, Daniel Farker, does have a real headache when it comes to injuries. He's got 11 senior players who aren't available. They've just heard that one of their key players, Liam Cooper, their captain, will be out for up to 2 months. They've lost Somerville with a groin injury for 3 weeks. Thurpo as well will be sidelined until their first international break after having a knee injury. And this is already, Mary-Kate, on the top of losing their 3 main forwards. Patrick Bamford, of course, a name that is synonymous really with Leeds United. Jorginho Rutter and Matteo Joseph all out injured. They're without midfielders Stuart Dallas and Jack Harrison. Tyler Adams, Sam Greenwood, these are some key names from the Premier League days of last season. So there is real concern here at Elland Road after their draw against Cardiff at the weekend, that going into their league campaign, they're going to be, pardon the pun, hamstrung because of all the injuries that they've got. But I take your point that on a normal night where they don't have that amount of injuries on their list, then it would make it extremely difficult. But that said, the backup players they've got will be really good, and as you say, they will potentially have an impact a bit later on.
Well, making our way into the ground tonight, we've heard from, speaking to stewards and speaking to some of our media colleagues, who've all made the same point about Leeds. And I don't want to say they're getting their excuses in early, but, it prevents a real opportunity. Like we said, we saw upsets last night with Wigan and with Southampton. It's not undoable at all tonight, you wouldn't have thought.
No, you look, Shrewsbury have had some big ties in the Carabao Cup or the EFL Cup in years gone by, whatever the names were at that time. I remember Arsenal away, was such a great occasion for Shrewsbury Town, but coming here to Leeds United, this is a magnificent stadium. Superb atmosphere. I was told by one of the stewards they're expecting 35,000 here tonight, which is just under a sellout. and that shows the real passion and support that this team has got, and they're expected to do big things in the Championship. They'll be expected to get promoted back into the Premier League straight away. They love their football here, but what an opportunity it is for the Shrewsbury players. And I agree with Stuart, what he said. I would say it is a free hit for them, because nobody expects them to come here and get a result. So why not? Why not? Why can't they do that? You know, maybe even take it to penalties and try and perform a giant killing of their own, and really get their season off to the best possible start after a superb win against Cheltenham at the weekend. Albeit I don't think Cheltenham are going to be the strongest of teams in League One this year. I think they are weaker than they have been before. I think Wade Elliott's had all sorts of problems in pre-season. But the real barometer for Shrewsbury will be obviously in the weeks ahead in League One. Stevenage, I think, will be a very tough game for them. Then Burton Albion at home, who've been making some signings. So with a new regime in charge as well, a new manager, a director of football coming in, they know that they're under the microscope at the moment. And so if they can get a win here tonight, make it 2 wins out of 2, what a start it would be for them.
What a start it would be indeed. The Leeds United players just made their way onto the pitch. They're doing that, the usual thing when the players come out and they have, I can see some people playing imaginary cricket. Some of the players have got a tennis ball and they're batting the ball around. They look very relaxed. We haven't seen the Shrewsbury Town players yet. I'm sure they're getting themselves ready in the dressing room as the Leeds fans start to make their way in here tonight at Ellen Road. As Nick said, we're expecting about 35,000 fans and over 1,000 fans making their way as well from Shrewsbury, as I can see some Shrewsbury fans as well sort of taking the pictures and taking it all in at what will be a fantastic atmosphere tonight. We'll have team news in less than 15 minutes as well, so make sure you don't go anywhere for that. Coming up next, we're going to hear a little bit about the England women's team, about the fantastic things they're doing, and like I say, team news will be on the way very shortly. Good evening and welcome back to Ellen Road here on BBC Radio Shropshire as Shrewsbury Town face Leeds United in the Carabao Cup tonight. There's also games going on elsewhere as well. It's not just here at Shrewsbury Town tonight. There's also games in the northern round of the draw. Burton Albion are facing Leicester City. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off. There's also games in the southern section of the draw as well. AFC Wimbledon are playing Coventry City. Bristol City host Oxford United. Cardiff City are playing Colchester. And Ipswich Town take on Bristol Rovers. They're all 7:45 kick-off, so we'll bring you score updates of those games at half-time. Good evening, welcome back to Ellen Road here on BBC Radio Shropshire. We're now just an hour away from kick-off. The fans are starting to make their way in. It's getting busy, the music's come on, the atmosphere's just ramping up a little bit. Both teams have been out and had their little walk around. I can see the Leeds mascot as well is, I believe that's a snow leopard. I may be wrong if you are listening. And you know what he's meant to be? It looks like a snow leopard to me. It's white and got leopardy spots. So if you don't know, if you don't, then drop me a text 81333. Let me know what is that mascot. He's waving anyway, so he's very enthusiastic, whoever he is or whatever animal he is. Like I say, now we're only an hour away from kick-off, and Nick Southfield can run you through tonight's team.
Well, the main headlines is that Travis Hearns is going to start for Shrewsbury Town tonight. This is a youngster that there's a real excitement about Travis Hearns and what he could do. It's a fantastic story about how he has come to be at Shrewsbury Town, and so we're looking forward to seeing him in an attacking midfield role. It looks like that they're going to stick with a similar shape to what they played against Cheltenham at the weekend. Marco Morosi in goal. We have Feeney, Flanagan and Anderson as the 3 centre-backs. Then in midfield, Kenner, Perry and Hearns just ahead of them. Benning comes in for his first start. Winchester over on the right, and then the front two, well, Tom Bayliss is going to be playing a number 10 role with, it looks like, Ryan Bowman alongside him. So I think the key thing for me tonight is what an opportunity it is for Travis Hearns to see what he can do.
Well, just 2 changes as well from Saturday. Danu Doe goes to the bench as well with Jordan Shipley. Asked Matt Taylor about Jordan Shipley after he went off injured on Saturday. Said it was just a dead leg, but probably precautionary measures having him on the bench this evening. And of course the other one is Danu Doe on the bench. Do you think that's just because of the sheer amount of football that he played on Saturday, over 100 minutes, after not playing for 10 months?
Yeah, I think so. Look, with Danu Doe, I think they still have to manage his recovery, fully, because when you have an ACL injury like that, I think he's come back probably slightly ahead of schedule, which is great news. Shows the amount of work that he's put in, but I think it's also probably, without being a physio or any kind of medical advice, but speaking to people that do, that it is something that you do have to manage, and you don't want a recurrence or rupturing that ACL. So I think, but it is something that they will have to still manage his time coming back into full football, really, and especially playing such a large portion of the game as he did at the weekend. I think that it's no surprise to see him on the bench tonight. Jordan Shipley picking up a bit of a dead leg, but he seems to be okay. He's on the bench. Great news, Che Dunkley is back available again on the bench, named as the club captain. What a player he's going to be this year. He was immense last year, Che Dunkley. If you were to ask any Shrewsbury Town fan, Mary Kate, who would be first on the team sheet, I think a high proportion of those Town fans would say Che Dunkley, because he wins everything in the air. It doesn't matter whether it's the ball or a player in his way, he'll head it. He is that brave and that dominant in the air. And look, he's really good with the ball at his feet as well. So I think that it's a very shrewd appointment by Matt Taylor to make Che Dunkley his club captain. And I think that he's going to have another great season.
Yeah, and another player who impressed as well on Saturday, and for Shrewsbury Town fans, it won't come as a surprise. He got some big goals last season. It was Ryan Bowman. Obviously scored the winner, was captain on Saturday. He maybe didn't play as much football as he wanted to last season. He made a lot of appearances from the substitutes bench. But these opportunities that he's had in these opening games to really stamp his a place, especially there's obviously no Max Mata tonight. We know that his visa still hasn't come through. That's obviously nothing the club can do about that. But there's no Max Mata tonight because of that. But if he can get goals, it's going to be very hard to take him out of the team.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Look, if you're scoring goals, you keep your place in the team, you keep your shirt. I think with Ryan Bowman, I think it would have been interesting to see whether he would have been kept on had Steve Cottrell continued as manager. The feeling I was getting was that maybe Ryan Bowman would have been moved on during the summer had there not been a managerial change. If that's the case, then he's obviously got a second opportunity here at Shrewsbury Town, and he looks fitter than he ever has done. So I think Ryan Bowman's had a really good pre-season. There's no doubt the potential there. I think he's a striker that could get 15 goals in a season. I think it's all about consistency with him, having a real clarity about what his role is going to be as well within this new kind of lineup. And I think he's made the best possible start. And you wouldn't put it past Ryan Bowman getting a goal here tonight, where he's keeping a high line on the counter-attack. When he gets the opportunity, his conversion rate is very good. So hopefully he can keep up that form and get another goal here in front of over 30,000.
Well, a scorer of big goals is Ryan Bowman, and hopefully he can do the same tonight for Shrewsbury Town as they look to cause an upset against Championship side Leeds United here at Allen Road. Well, coming up before 7, we'll hear from Shrewsbury Town's head coach Matt Taylor coming up next. Well, good evening, welcome back to Allen Road. We're less than an hour from kick-off. Just 50 minutes away now from kick-off here in the Carabao Cup. And Stuart Dunn has your team news.
Yes, 2 changes made tonight by Matt Taylor from the team that beat Cheltenham 1-0 at Shrewsbury on Saturday. And what a big night it promises to be for the 17-year-old midfield player Travis Hearns, who signed his first professional contract earlier this week, and now he starts in midfield for Shrewsbury Town here at Elland Road. So Hearns in. Also, there will be a full debut for Mal Benning, the recent signing from Port Vale. Dropping out of the starting 11 tonight, Jordan Shipley and Daniel Udo, all about just rotating the squad with an eye on Saturday. They are on the bench. So this is the Town team tonight. Marco Morosi, the goalkeeper. Central defenders, Morgan Feeney, Tom Flanagan and Joe Anderson. Carl Winchester and Mal Benning will be the wing backs for Shrewsbury Town. In midfield, Taylor Perry, Noah Kenner, big night for Kenner, former Leeds player, and Travis Hearns. Then you would think that Tom Bayliss would be playing a little bit further forward in support of the captain Ryan Bowman. On the bench, great to see Shay Dunkley involved, the new captain who has been injured in pre-season, but he's involved tonight on the bench. Shay Dunkley, Jordan Shipley, Harvey Watts, Tamisa Sobawala, Dan Udo, Jason Soraya and Harry Burgoyne.
Well, coming up next, kick-off is less than 50 minutes away here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Don't go anywhere.
Midweek Sports with Nick Southall
On BBC Radio Shropshire.
Radio can't believe it! And he takes the opportunity with both hands. What a moment! Pandemonium in the away end!
And a very good evening. Welcome to Elland Road, the home of Leeds United. We're just under 40 minutes from kick-off in the Carabao Cup. Shrewsbury's last win here came in December 1988. It's been a long, long wait. Town won that night 3-2. Can they match that this evening here in front of what we expect to be nearly a sellout crowd here at Elland Road? Now, Matt Taylor's side arrive in Yorkshire fresh from their opening day win against Cheltenham in League One. Well, let's hear from the manager. As always, we'll bring you exclusive access to Matt Taylor before kick-off as he tells you who starts. Let's head pitchside. He's with BBC Radio Shropshire's Stuart Dunn.
Well, Matt, here we are pitchside at Elland Road ahead of this big League Cup tie tonight. What's your Shrewsbury Town starting 11 this evening?
We made a couple of changes, so same back three and goalkeeper as Saturday. Travis Hearns is coming in for his full debut, so he'll play as one of the midfielders. Mal Benning will play left wing back, and so it means Dan Udo and Jordan Shipley are being managed in terms of their minutes. So other than that, we've gone as strong as we can, and I think now, having just got the Leeds team as well, they've gone as strong as they can. So I think that the message from me to the players is that's a mark of respect to us, and what we need to do now is go and perform at the best level we can.
What an exciting few days for young Travis Hearns, his first professional contract after his league debut, and now a start here at Elland Road.
Yes, tonight he'll be tested. Tonight we'll see if he's up to what is going to be an exceptionally tough test, but pleased with what he's been doing, pleased with how he's handled himself. There'll be huge nerves for him. I have absolutely no doubt of that, but I also expect him to have a large element of excitement, and the senior players need to help him tonight. It's going to be a tough ask for him, but I think physically you'll see his attributes today, and when we do have periods where we're on the ball, I expect him to be positive. So no, really good for him, and Mel coming in for his first start. I think again it's about using the players that we have to the best of our ability to make sure that in 3 days' time we go to Stevenage, we can put and select a team that is ready for another 90 minutes of tough football, or should I say 110 minutes of football.
Big crowd expected. It's such a famous ground as well, Elland Road. It's a great stage, isn't it, for your team tonight, Matt, to come and perform on?
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity for us, and if you look at our players, for some of them this will probably be one of the biggest occasions they've had. For Noah Kenner, this is going to be quite emotional for him tonight, because obviously he's played here as a young player, but all the players can do, and I think my message to them will be really simple: play the game, not the occasion, because we're going to make mistakes tonight. There are going to be times when we will be under pressure, we'll be suffering in our box, because we know the quality that Leeds have, but I expect us to go and put in a good performance tonight and try and win a game of football.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
That is Matt Taylor, the head coach of Shrewsbury Town, and the Town players have just made their way out onto the pitch. They'll be playing in red this evening here at Elland Road, and already the famous blue and yellow seats have been taken up by the supporters. Lots of people already in here, lots of people milling around outside as well, taking in this famous old stadium, the statues of Don Revie. He has the name of the stand away to our left, the famous manager here of Leeds United. Still remember those clashes he had with Brian Clough on the TV, which if you haven't seen them, well worth watching. I can't imagine that happening these days, but it's a fascinating interview. Don Revie and Brian Clough, you can probably find it on YouTube. And of course, the legend Billy Bremner as well. What a player he was here for Leeds United, and such a history. But Premier League football last season, relegated though to the Championship. They've got all sorts of problems regarding injuries, with Daniel Farke saying that he's got 11 players currently out injured, including the formidable striker Patrick Bamford. So an opportunity, maybe opportunity, knocks for Shrewsbury Town here this evening. I'm Nick Southall, Stuart Dunn alongside me. We must say, get well to Darren Moss, because he was due to be our summariser tonight, but he's not feeling too well, so can't make it this evening, but he'll be part of our commentary team this season, so get well soon to Darren. Well, Stuart Dunn is alongside me. Stuart, you've made your way up now at Stevenage. It probably won't be quite as difficult to find your way back to the press box, but it's a bit of a labyrinth here at Elland Road, so well done. You're looking fit, you're looking tanned, you've had a super summer. How do you feel?
I'm excited about this
so you
cup
should
match.
be.
Yeah, it's one to look forward
what a chance.
to. Yeah, one to look forward to, isn't it? You look at the some of the Leeds players come out to warm up. Elland Road already quite full, or getting fuller, with Leeds supporters, but you look at the draw and the teams the Town could have had at this stage of the competition. It doesn't get any tougher, does it, than a Leeds or a Leicester away. Two other clubs just down from the Premier League, Southampton as well, who of course went out of the competition last night, didn't they, to Gillingham, so that will give hope to all lower league ties. Lots of games played last night, lots of Championship clubs knocked out. A few more ties being played tonight, including of course here this evening. Leeds will be big favourites, I'm sure, when you look at the talent that Daniel Farke has at his disposal, even allowing for their extensive injury list at the moment. But this is a night that Shrewsbury Town can really approach with a lot of optimism, I would have thought. Yes, it's going to be tough, of course it is, and I look at the team that Leeds have selected tonight, and Farke has selected 5 of the players in his starting 11 who played in his starting 11 on Sunday here for the Cardiff game, including a couple of current Wales internationals in Ethan Ampadu and Dan James, who we remember had that loan spell at Shrewsbury Town under Paul Hurst in 2017 and famously didn't play for Shrewsbury Town during his loan spell before returning to Swansea. He's gone on to have a wonderful career subsequently and is now here at Leeds. But for Shrewsbury, they can come here with confidence, fully aware that it's going to be a tough test. It's a sign of respect as well, isn't it, that Daniel Farke has gone strong with his Leeds selection tonight, and for Shrewsbury Town and for somebody like Travis Hearns coming into the starting 11, what an exciting opportunity to play in an arena like this in front of upwards of 35,000 people tonight.
Well, you look, he's a youngster, what an opportunity it is for him. But that said, Stuart, this is a massive stage for him. Over 30,000 are going to be in here tonight, and this is a big test of character as well. Look, a great opportunity. I think this is a bit of a free hit for Shrewsbury, isn't it? They aren't going to be expected to get anything here against Leeds United. But what an opportunity for the youngster to show what he can do. And
it just underlines just how highly he is regarded by Matt Taylor, the head coach, Mickey Moore as well. They've rewarded Travis Hearns for his exciting potential with a 3-year deal earlier this week. Just look at the week he's having. Makes his league debut on Saturday as a late sub against Cheltenham. Turns professional with a 3-year deal on Monday. And on Wednesday he's playing here at Elland Road, so it's a fantastic chance for Travis Hearns. We saw glimpses of him last season I remember the EFL Trophy tie against Wolves of the 21s when Travis Hearn scored a splendid goal. A few months after that, he was called up to represent Norway at under-18 international level, which again is another indication of just how highly he is regarded, the fact that he is already a youth international for Norway. So looking forward to seeing what Travis Hearn can do here tonight. Shouldn't expect too much too soon and put too much pressure on the young man's shoulders, but even so, it's a wonderful occasion for Hearn to be involved in. The other player that comes into the starting 11 tonight from Saturday, Mal Benning, is an experienced player, nearly 400 first team appearances, recent signing from Port Vale. Thought he did well when he came on in the last 15-20 minutes on Saturday. So Benning and Hearn's coming in tonight for Jordan Shipley and Daniel Udo, who were on the bench tonight. All about just managing players sensibly, isn't it? Especially Daniel Udo, a player who's been out for so long. He came back into the team on Saturday and I thought he was super. It was fantastic to see him back first and foremost and playing so well. Jordan Shipley went off in the closing stages on Saturday. We're told by Matt Taylor that was a dead leg, but he is involved tonight. He's on the bench. A bench that also includes Shea Dunkley, the new captain, which is fantastic to see, because remember, Dunkley has played no part in pre-season owing to injury. He was suspended in any case for the opening game against Cheltenham on Saturday, but just the fact that Shea Dunkley, someone of his experience and influence, is back on the bench tonight, that's really good news.
Yeah, a shrewd appointment as well to make Shea Dunkley the club captain. I think that is the perfect kind of person to select, and he'll be guaranteed, you would think, that he'll be playing most games as he did last season. We'd love you to get involved as well here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Exclusive coverage of Shrewsbury Town, home and away all season. Me and Stuart will be travelling up and down the country with a variety of summarisers, the likes of Steve Cross, Andy Cook, Darren Moss and others. Do stay tuned for news about the Coracle as well, the podcast all about Shrewsbury Town, because it is returning, and we'll bring you more on that very soon. So you can send me a text on 81333. Start your text with the word Shrob. Already lots of people having their say on social media. Rob, the boxing true, says Hearns. He's really pleased that he's going to get a start tonight. The Dragon's Den hockey says big dunks on the bench. Great news. Anthony says massive night for Hearns and players to actually bring on. Completely agree, Anthony. And a couple of question marks about Bayliss playing up front. Well, we envisage that he'll be playing deeper than Ryan Bowman. Would you say it's the number 10 kind of position, Stuart, or maybe slightly deeper than that?
It'll be intriguing to see where Tom Bayliss actually does play. He does seem the most likely to play further forward, as close or maybe even alongside Ryan Bowman. Let's go through the team actually. Mark Emerosi, the goalkeeper, match number 101 for him tonight. The central defenders, Morgan Feeney, Tom Flanagan and Joe Anderson. Carl Winchester and Mal Benning, the wing backs, and then Taylor Perry, Nohan Kenner. Massive night for Nohan Kenner, playing against his former club. He's on loan from Hibernian now, but Kenner in midfield with Travis Hearns, and then you would think that Tom Bayliss will play further forward, pretty close to Ryan Bowman, and on the bench for Shrewsbury tonight, Jason Soraya, Daniel Udo, Tanisha Subwala, Shea Dunkley, Jordan Shipley, Harvey Watts and Harry Burgoyne. Quick word on Leeds United, by the way. Should we go through their team, actually?
Yeah.
This is the Leeds team selected by Daniel Farker. It's his second game in charge, competitive game in charge, having been appointed in the summer. It was big Sam Allardyce, wasn't it, in charge of Leeds in the closing weeks of last season?
Assisted by Carl Robinson,
yes,
the ex-Oxford boss.
Indeed. Well, this is the Leeds team tonight. 6 changes from Saturday, but still very strong. Carl Darlow making his Leeds debut tonight in goal. Recent signing for Newcastle United. Played a lot of games in the top division for Newcastle as well. At the back for Leeds tonight, Jamie Shackleton, Charlie Cresswell, Luke Ayling, very experienced player. He will captain Leeds tonight. Leo Hielder. And then holding midfield players, Archie Gray, age 17, made his first team debut against Cardiff on Sunday. He's alongside Ethan Ampadu, summer signing from Chelsea, current Wales international. And then further forward, Ian Paveda, Darko Giabi and Dan James, another Welsh international, and the centre forward for Leeds tonight is Joe Gelhard. And a quick look at the bench, that includes Ilan Meslier, the experienced goalkeeper, the French keeper. Also on the bench, the Colombian international Luis Sinisterra and Sam Byram, to name but three. So plenty of options on the bench as well for Daniel Farke, the Leeds manager, who will be really keen to get his first win in charge, won't he, after that 2-2 draw here against Cardiff City on Saturday. First 15 minutes are really key to any game, aren't they? If Leeds start well and get an early goal, what promises to be a tough night might be even tougher for Shrewsbury Town. But if Shrewsbury can frustrate them and grow into the game, and we know that Shrewsbury are more than capable of causing teams problems, who knows what can happen. This is the Cup, and we've seen Shrewsbury have some notable scalps over the years, but it goes without saying, this is a tough test for Shrewsbury coming here tonight to Elland Road, but an exciting test.
It is. Under half an hour to go until kick-off. Stuart Dunn and me, Nick Southall, here, along with Mary-Kate Wilden as well on BBC Radio Shropshire. Already a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Stuart's wearing a very warm-looking jumper and T-shirt underneath, and I've still got a coat on. Very muggy here in West Yorkshire.
Yeah, even walking back from...
Was it cold
doing
Saturday?
The interview? Yes. I had to put the coat on at half-time, which disappointed me. I put the coat on because it was a rainy day, but I was hoping not to have to turn to it, but at half-time I had to give in. But tonight it is much warmer here in Leeds, and having just walked from pitch side, where having spoken to Matt Taylor to get the team news, back to the commentary position, I am a bit warm at the moment, but the jumper will stay on for the time being at least.
Well, that's Stuart Dunn. Let's hear from on-loan midfielder Nohan Kenner. He made quite an impression on Saturday, putting in a man-of-the-match performance on his debut. Today he returns to Leeds United, the club he spent 8 years at as a youngster. He told our very own BBC Radio Shropshire Stuart Dunn his focus is only on Shrewsbury Town.
Got to work hard to be in the team, you know. I didn't come here just obviously, like, I need to work hard every day in training just to show, like, obviously why, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm not here to make up the numbers, and I'm here to be part of the team. For me, it's just like it's not about me, it's about the team. So to try to help the team for me as much as possible, really. Yeah.
You've been here a few weeks now. How are you enjoying it since coming in on loan from Hibernian?
Yeah, it was good. It's good. And for me, obviously, when I spoke to the manager here, he just made me feel welcome. You know how important I was going to be part of the team. So when I heard that, really, it was no brainer for me to come down and help the team. For me, so it's all about my development and helping the team, you know, get as high as possible in the league. So yeah.
And what a game for the club and for you next. Leeds United away, one of your former clubs. What are your thoughts on going back to Elland Road?
I know. It's going to be a bit of a strange feeling. Obviously, like I said, I've been there since I was on the 11s, and yeah, I've got a special, you know, feeling for them. Obviously, what they did for me as a youngster. So, but for me, I'm going there just to win the game. You know, it's a professional game. Shrewsbury versus Leeds United. It's not me versus Leeds United. It's Shrewsbury versus Leeds United. So I'm just going there just to, you know, try to win the game as much. Yeah, that's it really.
Excited though? Going back up there?
Yeah, for sure. Excited. Obviously, seeing, you know, some faces, familiar faces. Obviously, I just recently left, so there's going to be a lot of people that I know. Not just players, just staffs and coaching people who have helped me along the way. So for me, it's just going there, just try to focus on the game, you know, take the emotion out, you know, try to really focus on the game. Really.
Well, that was Nohan Kenner back here at Leeds United, where he played as a youngster, and he'll be relishing this game tonight in front of nearly a full house. Can you believe it? You know, speaking to the stewards on the way in, I was expecting maybe 20,000, slightly over, but some were even saying that it could be a sellout. So they reckon about 35,000 here at Elland Road for this game this evening. A few rain clouds looming overhead, but the sun's just popping out for one last appearance this evening here at Elland Road. Stuart Dunn is alongside me, commentating on this game tonight, BBC Radio Shropshire. Kick-off at 7:45. Stuart, let's just have a look at Nohan Kenner. Now, what an impressive debut it was for a 20-year-old. To do that in front of a home crowd on the opening day of a season was quite a remarkable achievement, really, because, you know, there was bound to have been some nerves there for knowing Kenner. What impressed you the most about him and his performance?
Everything. I thought it was a really accomplished debut for a young player coming into a team for the first time. Yes, he played some of the pre-season friendlies, but coming in for the start of the League One season, I thought he was excellent. In the first half, I seem to be saying repeatedly, the ball won by Kenner. So he won the ball well, and used it intelligently as well. Good energy levels. I thought he slotted into the team really well. He was named as the man of the match. He was in the Sovereign Suite collecting, being presented with that accolade after the game. So that was a nice way for Kenner to start. And this is a big night for him, isn't it? This is a player who has been connected with Leeds, as we were hearing from the under 11. So he's been here. He will know lots of the players on the Leeds team sheet tonight, having played and trained alongside them. He was here until last summer when he joined Hibernian of the Scottish Premier League. He's since been out on loan to Ross County. Now he has the opportunity to play in League One with Shrewsbury Town. But really encouraging start from Kenner, and looking forward to watching him again here tonight at Ellen Road.
Yeah, also in that midfield, Taylor Perry received praise for his performance too. How would you liken him to maybe midfielders of days gone by at Shrewsbury? Does he remind you of anybody?
Difficult to make a direct comparison, but Perry played quite often a bit more towards the right and was linking well with the players on the right-hand side. I remember in the second half he played a lovely exchange of passes with Daniel Udo and set up Udo for a shot that was well saved. But again, it was a very efficient debut from Taylor Perry, who, remember, joined Shrewsbury on trial in pre-season. It must always be quite tricky when you come to a football club on trial, because you know you've only got a limited window of opportunity in which to impress. I think it helps that he already knew, or Mickey Moore, the director of football, already knew plenty about Taylor Perry, having, of course, Mickey Moore at Cheltenham, where Taylor Perry has had 2 loan spells in the last couple of years from Wolves. He left Wolves at the end of last season. He was available, and he's come into Shrewsbury Town, and this is a big opportunity for him. This is a player who did play in the first team as a substitute for Wolves as well. So an opportunity for Perry to come in, and he starts again tonight. So again, just like Nohan Kenner, I thought it was an encouraging debut.
Yes, a very encouraging debut. Interesting to see how they get on tonight here against Leeds United. We're just seeing some highlights on the big screen here at Ellen Road of Leeds' 2-2 draw against Cardiff City at the weekend. Yet more injury concerns for Daniel Farker from there. So this is a team where he's had to make a lot of changes. A new captain coming in, the experienced man though of Luke Ayling. He has the captain's armband, but they've lost their captain for this season, Liam Cooper, who could be out for up to 2 months. Also problems with their forwards as well, because Patrick Bamford, Jorginho Rutter and Matteo Joseph are all out injured. Problems with their midfielders as well. Harrison, Dallas, Adams, Greenwood has been carrying a knock. Defender Cody Drama has also had problems. So a real test for Leeds to try and bounce back from their relegation from the Premier League last season. But we don't really care about that. It's all about Shrewsbury Town. What a mouth-watering tie this is. It is a free hit for Shrewsbury, and who knows what they could do. Remember, there is no extra time. It will go straight to penalties. Let me know your thoughts ahead of this game. 81333. Start your text with the word drop. Shrewsbury looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 after that superb win against Cheltenham on the opening day of the League One campaign. Well, Shrewsbury are set to host a night to reminisce with Salop legend Graham Turner on Friday, the 18th of August. It's all to raise money for the club's foundation. But Millie Wheeler, who works for the foundation, says it will be a special night for fans of all ages.
It's the first time we've really done anything like this for fans. The foundation have invited Graham to have an evening with him to kind of, you know, find out about his time as a player and manager and reflect on some of Town's, you know, arguably some of town's most notable seasons. So we're inviting guests from the 78-79 season, but the night itself actually is sort of commemorating 50 years since Graham Turner joined the club. So we really wanted to highlight that. And also the whole event is around sort of raising money for Shrewsbury Town Foundation, which is really exciting for us too.
And what can fans expect if they come on the evening?
So, well, insight from Graham Turner, really, which I think is something that, you know, town fans haven't really been able to access. It's been quite a long time since Graham's been involved with the club, so it'll be really nice for them to be able to sort of reminisce, reflect, and also ask questions. The evening will be hosted by Stuart Dunn, so we know that he'll have good questions prepared as well and get some insight from both the special guests we invite along and Graham as well. People can expect to have a touch of nostalgia and, reminiscing on some good times for the club, which we're really excited to do. And I think the foundation are really focused on creating special and unique events for Shrewsbury Town fans to be part of, and hopefully it'll be one of many coming this season.
Yeah, it's going to be a great evening. Our very own Stuart Dunn is going to host that one, and so if you want to go along, it starts around about 7 o'clock, I think, on Friday the 18th of August, and you can hear from the legend Graham Turner. Do be prompt, as I know from my own experience of interviewing Graham Turner many times. He's very, very punctual and expects everybody else to be as well, and rightly so. What a legend he is of Shrewsbury Town. So that will be a superb evening. Well, here at Ellen Road, the stadium is filling up nicely. Over 30,000 expected here tonight for this Carabao Cup game between Leeds and Shrewsbury. Elsewhere in the sporting world, in boxing, and promoter Eddie Hearn says that Anthony Joshua's in the best shape and form of his life. He's preparing for his heavyweight fight against Robert Helnius at London's O2 Arena on Saturday. The Finnish boxer is a replacement for Dillian White, who returned an adverse finding in a voluntary drug test last week. Well, Hearns told the BBC that Joshua can't afford to lose, as he's already in negotiations for him to fight Deontay Wilder next.
Yeah, we went for the 6'9" Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius. He's a big lump. He can punch as well. It's dangerous. I mean, last time we had this issue, Jarrell Miller failed a drugs test, I think, 3 years ago, and Andy Ruiz stepped in at late notice, and we know what happened there. So we're definitely not looking for a repeat, and it's a big moment for him, and he must win.
Football, and at the Women's World Cup, England are continuing their preparations for Saturday's quarter-final tie against Colombia in Sydney. England beat Nigeria 4-2 on penalties in their last 16 match, but the former England midfielder Farrell Williams says on current form, Serena Wiegmann's side aren't the favourites to win the tournament.
I think we're the highest ranked team left in the competition, us and Sweden. If it's down to form, I don't believe England are up there with being the favourites, because they're yet to produce a consistent performance. I think Japan and Spain and the Netherlands have probably been the more dominant, and we've seen Australia come into form in this tournament.
Well, there were 2 golds for Great Britain on day 6 of the Cycling World Championships in Glasgow. Neil Fashie won his 19th world title in the mixed B team sprint with Elizabeth Jordan, while Fran Brown was crowned C1 scratch race world champion. That is the latest sports headlines here on BBC Radio Shropshire. 7:30, 15 minutes to go until kick-off in this big game between Leeds and Shrewsbury, right here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Welcome back to Ellen Road. We are just 14 minutes away from kick-off in this huge game. Shrewsbury Town playing the former Premier League club Leeds United, relegated last season from the Premier League, looking to bounce back straight away. Got a 2-2 draw with Cardiff here at the weekend after being 2-0 down. And Shrewsbury coming here on the back of that 1-0 win against Cheltenham. Now, I did say we bring you up to date with what's happening with the Coracle, our Shrewsbury Town podcast, access all areas. And I'm delighted to say it is coming back, but we will be bringing you that in September. So that will be recorded soon, and we'll be playing those episodes out in September. And we'll keep it under wraps at the moment, of who is going to be involved. The co-hosts alongside me, Nick Southall, for the Coracle. You can catch up with Series 1. It's already on BBC Sounds. Just search for Coracle Shrewsbury Town and you'll find the whole of episode 1 and some brilliant episodes there, in particular Salt and Pepper, which was the episode when we talk about Aaron Wilbraham's attempts to cover up a bit of a bald patch on top of his head. That's all I'll say. Salt and Pepper, probably one of the better of the episodes. They're all very good, but choose for yourself on BBC Sounds. Well, tonight's opponents, Leeds United, were relegated from the Premier League last season and still have a team packed with internationals. Shrewsbury Town head coach Matt Taylor says his team will go out to win despite being the underdogs.
I think it's a great game for the football club. I think that we've got the opportunity to have a look at a few players that we haven't seen this year so far. Really excited about it. I've read online that we've sold over 1,000 tickets. So I think that's really, really good in terms of the supporters on a Wednesday night when I know it's not easy. It costs money. It's a lot of time. Some of them might have to have half a day at work and they won't be back till late. So for the supporters to travel up and watch us, I think is obviously really, really good. It helps that we won on Saturday. And we're using this fixture as an opportunity to build momentum. I mean, I'm expecting us to go there and give a really good account of ourselves. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to play the way that we want to play this season, both in and out of possession. So it's going to be a tough game, right? We've got some fantastic players. Watched the game on Sunday and, at times they were devastating in around the final third. But if we're really serious this year, then we've got to make sure that we compete and we compete well and we give everything. We understand that we are the underdogs going into the game, no issue about that. We understand that for moments and for big parts of the game we're probably going to suffer because we won't have the ball. But then actually there's a character that I'm interested in seeing and looking forward to seeing in our players is when we haven't got the ball, how much are we willing to do for each other? So it's a good game. One I'm excited about. I've only ever played there once as a player, so that was a long time ago. It'd be nice to go back.
How do you prepare for a game like that when you say, you're not going to have the majority of the ball? How do you set up for that in training and work on that?
Just it doesn't change. I think what changes is the game plan. So the way that we want to play will alter, but it doesn't change wholly, because if it does, then we come away from what are our principles, both with and without the ball. And we can't do that. There's no way that I'm willing to do that. And as a group of staff, we're not going to do that. I think if you do, you send the wrong message to the players. I'm expecting us to go and perform. And what that performance looks like will be different to what you saw on Saturday. But again, we go to Stevenage the following Saturday and that'll be different again. And that's where football is, I think, so unique, is that each game is different. No game is the same. So it's different challenges for our players. Probably we're going to have to deal with a lot of rotations. We're going to have to deal with some really skillful footballers. But I think we've got that in our locker, if you like, with the players. And what a challenge, right? We can go to Leeds and, I imagine there'll be a decent crowd there. What an atmosphere, what a stadium. Let's go and try and win it.
That's the Shrewsbury Town head coach, Matt Taylor, speaking with BBC Radio Shropshire's Mary Kate Wheeldon. We are under 10 minutes away from kick-off here at Ellen Road for Leeds United versus Shrewsbury Town in the Carabao Cup. Let's bring you a recap of who starts tonight, and I'm sure all of these players in the squad, Stuart, would have been itching to have got a starting place, but they can only name 11, so who has Matt Taylor gone with?
Well, two changes from the team that started against Cheltenham on Saturday, the 1-0 win at Crowd Meadow. What a big night for 17-year-old midfield player Travis Hearns, who starts tonight at Ellen Road. Mal Benning, the recent signing from Port Vale, also comes in. Jordan Shipley and Daniel Udo among the substitutes tonight. Town then, Marco Morosi in goal. Morgan Feeney, Tom Flanagan and Joe Anderson, the central defenders. Carl Winchester and Mal Benning, the wing-backs. Taylor Perry, Nohan Kenner and Travis Hearns in midfield. And we anticipate Tom Bayliss to play in a more advanced role tonight, close to the captain and centre forward. And Saturday's match winner, Ryan Bowman, on the bench for Town tonight. Jason Saraya, Dan Udo, Tanisha Subwala, Shea Dunkley. It's fantastic to see Shea Dunkley back involved tonight. Jordan Shipley, Harvey Watts and Harry Burgoyne, the goalkeeper. Leeds make 6 changes from the team that started the 2-2 draw here with Cardiff on Sunday, but it's still a strong side selected by Daniel Farker. Carl Barlow, the goalkeeper, Jamie Shackleton, Charlie Creswell, Luke Ayling and Leo Helder in defence, Archie Gray and Ethan Ampadu holding midfield players, and then Ian Paveda, Darko JB and Dan James, former Town loan player, and Joe Gelhard is the lead centre forward tonight.
I've just seen who the referee is. Seb Stockbridge.
He's taken charge of a few Shrewsbury games, although I was doing a bit of research on Mr Stockbridge yesterday, and the last Town game he took charge of, he gave Shrewsbury Town a penalty and Town won 4-0 at Burton Albion.
Well, it doesn't feel like it, does it? Because normally when you see the name, you think, oh no.
He's been on the league list a long time, hasn't he, Mr Stockbridge?
What a win against Burton that was as well. What a win. We won't say that too loudly around certain people. Stuart, Shrewsbury have had some really good ties in the League Cup in the past, haven't they? I mentioned earlier on, Arsenal was certainly one that lives in the recent memory. Graham Turner taking a team there, lots of supporters making that long journey as well. But what have been your favourite moments in this competition?
Well, that's one of them, when James Collins headed Town in front at the Emirates. Shrewsbury led 1-0, might have gone further in front. Arsenal in the end came back to win 3-1, but there have been so many that same season. Shrewsbury won at high division at the time, Derby 3-2, then they beat Premier League Swansea 3-1. They had a really good run under Mickey Mellon as well in 2014-15. They beat Blackpool, won at Premier League Leicester City at the time. Andy Mangan with the winning goal, knocked out Norwich City, and then gave Chelsea a real scare at the Meadow. And it was an unfortunate own goal in the end that sent a very strong Chelsea side through. I remember when Andy Mangan equalised at 1-1. Jose Mourinho, the Chelsea manager, turned to his bench and brought on people like Hazard and Matic. It was a star-studded Chelsea side that night, but there have been so many going to Crystal Palace in this competition a few years ago. Established Premier League club, Shrewsbury led early at Selhurst Park and took Palace to extra time and went out 4-1 in the end after extra time. But lots of highlights over the years, and any sort of result here tonight at Ellen Road tonight would be right up there with all of them.
Stuart, we've got a star amongst us. Just seeing him walking right in front of our press bench. Mike Bushell, BBC Breakfast, sports presenter. He comes across as tiny on the screen, but in real life he's even tinier. He's very small. There he is, down here. A couple of rows in front of us. There he is, Mike Bushell, who looks to take part in lots of different weird and wonderful sports. But just thought I'd point him out. I'm sure there's quite a few people here tonight watching Gone. We've got Chris Iwalumu, who's commentating for another station here this evening on the press bench. But as we look around ourselves here at Ellen Road, and it's very difficult to see the blue seats, they've all been taken up, and albeit that they've got injury concerns, Leeds United, Stu, just having a crowd of nearly 35,000 here probably more than makes up for that anyway, doesn't it? So if Shrewsbury were to get a result here tonight, that would be quite an achievement.
It would, very much so. Yeah, Leeds have fantastic support, but with that brings a little bit of pressure, a bit of expectation as well. And we saw last year they struggled, didn't they, in the end, and they were relegated from the Premier League after 3 years in the top flight. So they find themselves back in the Championship, and they're always a team that teams in the Championship will be wanting to beat. And here come the teams at Ellen Road.
Well, the crowd around us take to their feet as we await the two teams to enter the arena. And what an arena it is as well. Such history, such nostalgia about Leeds United. Going back to the 70s, what a team they had. The likes of Billy Bremner, who is honoured here with a statue outside Ellen Road. Don Revie as well, the stand away to our left, named after their legendary manager. And this famous song as well. The Leeds all in white. Shrewsbury Town very much in what looks pretty much identical to a Liverpool strip of all red with flashes of white on the sleeves and on top of the socks. So Shrewsbury will be hoping that they can do something very special here this evening here against Leeds United. Full match coverage of this game between Leeds and Shrewsbury in the Carabao Cup is coming next here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Round Ellen Road, over 30,000 packed in here this evening in West Yorkshire. A very muggy evening, quite a number of the coaching staff from both teams wearing their tracksuits and probably wishing that they could take those off because it is very warm indeed. The two captains meet inside the centre circle. Luke Ayling, the experienced man for Leeds, and Ryan Bowman, who is an integral part of this Shrewsbury Town forward line at the moment. Dan Udoh on the bench, still waiting for Matters Visa to come through. Matt Taylor, the head coach, turns and looks up towards the director's box as we are just moments away from Leeds against Shrewsbury. Your commentary team of me, Nick Southall, Darren Moss, sadly ill today. We wish him well. He'll be back in the pundit's chair very soon. So I'm alongside our commentator, Stuart Dunn.
Thank you very much, Nick. Ahead of this League Cup tie beginning, the two teams and officials take a knee. And Shrewsbury all in red tonight. First touch of the ball for Travis Hearns as he gets this game underway. Ball back now with Morosi, the goalkeeper. It's a short ball actually. Going to play Town into trouble here. Leeds coming forward straight away with Paveda. And good job for Shrewsbury Town that Anderson was in the right place to clear after a bit of a loose pass from Morosi. Almost played Shrewsbury Town into danger. Leeds all in wide, their famous home kit. Attacking down the left-hand side. They're playing towards the Norman Hunter stand, which is the smallest of the four stands here at this very atmospheric Ellen Road Stadium. The Leeds have the ball just in the centre circle at the moment. They go to the right-hand side to... as they come forward with Shackleton playing right back. They go back into their own half to Ampadu, the Wales international. Knocks it out to the left-hand side to Helder, who is a Norway under-21 international. Lots of players with international experience in this Leeds starting 11 tonight. Town get a challenge in with Feeney. Leeds player goes down, no free kick to the home side. Instead it will be a Shrewsbury Town throw midway inside their own half on the right-hand side. In front of that towering Jack Charlton stand, which towers over the rest of this stadium. You can see it on the motorway, can't you, as you get close to the city of Leeds. And Ellen Road, I can't see many empty seats here tonight at all, as Leeds have the ball inside their own half. They go back to Darlow, all in green, the goalkeeper making his debut tonight for Leeds. Recent signing from Newcastle, picks out Ayling on the right-hand side. And Leeds go back into their own half. Here's Cresswell, uses Ampadu. Leeds slow it down to walking pace. They now look for Shackleton. Goes square to Ampadu, who's allowed a little bit more time on the ball, but now he gives it away to Perry, who wins it well for Shrewsbury, all in red. Perry goes down, and that'll be a free kick. Saves referee Seb Stockbridge. It was good anticipation for Perry to win the ball initially. Then he goes down onto the challenge, and that'll be a Shrewsbury Town free kick, just about 20 yards inside the Leeds United half.
A really good pressing there from Shrewsbury, forcing Leeds onto the back foot. They did seem to slow the game down with that passing move, and instead of going forwards, we're forced backwards by Shrewsbury. Good work by Taylor Perry. Seems to have picked up a bit of a knock to his left shoulder, but should be okay. And a free kick in a decent position early on.
And it will be Tom Bayliss who will take this free kick for Shrewsbury Town. Good travelling support for the Town. More than 1,000 tickets sold for the away stand as Bayliss takes his free kick high into the penalty area. Ayling gets his head to it, but under pressure from Anderson, turns it behind, and Shrewsbury have their first corner of the night.
A good start from Shrewsbury, getting the first corner, taking the game to Leeds when they have the opportunity. Boos for Tom Bayliss. I'm sure he'll be thriving on that. Look at how packed it is around us.
So Bayliss makes his way to the left-hand side to take this corner. Lots of height in there for Town, all in red. Here comes a corner, and it's an easy take for Darlow, the Leeds goalkeeper. If you're a goalkeeper making your debut for a new club, that's the ideal corner, isn't it, to come and claim early on, to settle down any nerves potentially.
Yeah, well, we didn't see Tom Bayliss taking many corners or free kicks last season for Shrewsbury, and an interesting position for him tonight as well, Stu. It looks like they're playing 3-5-1-1. I don't really think it's for typical number 10 position for Tom Bayliss. I think he'll have to do a lot of running backwards and forwards, helping that midfield, but get forward when he can.
Looks quite advanced at the moment, doesn't he? Playing almost level with Bowman, who wins a flick on here, but Leeds will start again on the edge of their penalty area. Ethan Ampadu, by the way, who we thought would play in midfield tonight for Leeds, is actually playing as one of their central defenders. Summer signing from Chelsea. Here's Ampadu once again. Works it out to the left-hand side to Helder. And he uses Ampadu once again. Very patient, the build-up from Leeds. Ampadu goes square to Cresswell. Leeds lost one of their first-choice central defenders, Liam Cooper, to injury in the game here against Cardiff on Saturday. Gelhardt, ball through the middle, looking for the run of Gray, but it's slightly overhit, and he goes through to Morosi, and he comes out and claims with no danger there. So it's been a short start this from Shrewsbury Town, coming to Elland Road in front of this big crowd. 4 minutes played and 0-0.
Yeah, very assured start from Shrewsbury. They look very well set, well drilled, which is good to see. This new look team, Feeney, interesting to see how he gets on tonight. Did really well there covering, and you know, Flanagan having a more of a senior position really, while Shea Dunkley's out of the team. So interesting to see how Flanagan plays in the centre.
Ampadu square to Cresswell, just behind the centre circle in the Leeds half. Works it out to the right hand side to Shackleton, who's closed down by Bayliss. Gets his pass away to JV. And here's a chance for Pervader. Lots of ability on this right hand side to come forward. Uses Ayling, and Ayling's touch let him down a little there, and Anderson moved in and clears, no-nonsense style. The on-loan Sunderland defender, who was another player to have a good debut, liked the way he used the ball as well. Tried to play it out very constructively from defence. He played a great ball through to Bowman early in the second half for a chance that Bowman couldn't quite take, but that was encouraging to see that Anderson is a central defender with an eye for a pass. Leeds with Pervader. They go back into their own half with Ampadu. Leeds, you can expect to have plenty of possession here tonight. Lots of pass completion as well, lots of short passes. Just working the ball in and around halfway here. They go back into their own half to Ampadu once again. Square to Cresswell, who takes his eye off the ball, and Bayliss takes it off him. Here's Bayliss, good run down the left-hand side. Hearns and Bowman in the middle. Benning well forward, gives it to Bayliss, who goes back towards halfway to Anderson. Goes back into his own half to Flanagan, the experienced Northern Ireland international. And into pressure from Gelhardt. He just takes his time, Flanagan, works it out to the left-hand side to Anderson, clips it forward in the air over halfway. Header won by Cresswell, high above Bayliss. Benning into the challenge, and free kick given against Benning for the challenge on Ayling, who then tries to take a quick free kick. Benning's going to pick up a yellow card for that.
Come on, I mean, that's, you know, Mr. Stockbridge, the referee, who we've had many times before at Shrewsbury Town, and I just think, why does he have to brandish a yellow card there? Just, he's following the letter to the law, but he's not showing any common sense.
But Ayling put the ball down and took the free kick so quickly, and Benning was still there, wasn't he?
It's ridiculous, Stu. How can he be shown a yellow card? What, we've had 7 minutes gone, and he's trying to say that he's prevented the free kick from being taken straight away. I mean, you just have a word, don't you? You just have a word. Why put somebody on a yellow card so early into the game? It's a frustration that we've had with this referee before.
Long clearance from one end to the other, gathered by Carl Darlow, the Leeds goalkeeper, 32 years of age. Played 100 matches for Newcastle, his former club. Now Ayling, who was involved in that yellow card for Shrewsbury's left wing back, Benning. Leeds come forward down the left-hand side this time. They go back to Ampadu, square to Cresswell. And here's Shackleton, moves over halfway, right-hand side, short ball forward to Ayling, who is the Leeds captain. tonight. Uses JB, and Town have won the ball. Here's Hearns. Hearns needs some support, drives into the Leeds half, number 19 on the back of his shirt. Had no support there, and he does lose it eventually. That was good awareness to win the ball initially from Hearns. Such a big occasion for the youngster.
Yeah, really looking forward to watching Hearns. For me, Shrewsbury have looked more assured on the ball than Leeds. A few mistakes creeping in for Leeds in possession, which is very unlike them. They're a bit pedestrian when they've got the ball as well. Shrewsbury know that they're going to have long spells where they will have to pack in behind the ball and just say to Leeds, look, you can continue passing it around the halfway line. You're not going to hurt us there. But for me, Shrewsbury have looked much more confident on the ball.
They've won the ball well, haven't they, a couple of times, which is good awareness, good anticipation. 0-0 it remains here on BBC Radio Shropshire at Elland Road tonight, the home of Leeds United. Shrewsbury here in the first round of the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, to give it its sponsorship title. Good challenge from Kenner this time on Paveda, wins the ball goes out of play. You can see the Leeds manager, Daniel Farker, the former Norwich City boss, in his technical area. The long jacket on. Matt Taylor right on the edge of the technical area as well, arms folded. The Shrewsbury Town head coach, who was so pleased with much of what he saw on Saturday. Town making that winning start to the season at the Meadow against Cheltenham. 0-0 here tonight. We are into the 10th minute of this League Cup tie. And Leeds have the ball inside their own half. They go into the Town half now to Shackleton, closed down by Bayliss, who just stands off the Leeds player this time because he was going nowhere fast on this occasion. Creswell to Ampadu, who's had so many touches of the ball in these opening 10 minutes. Helder now joined Leeds from Celtic, the Leeds left back. Creswell on the halfway line. Pitch is like a bowling green, isn't it, here at Elland Road, in fantastic condition. As Leeds attack down the right with Paveda, uses Ayling in the penalty area. Ayling delivers towards the far post. Header comes in, and it's an easy save for Morosi. Ayling with the ball in. It was Dan James, wasn't it? He's not the tallest. The Wales international, former Manchester United player, former Shrewsbury loanee briefly. And his header didn't really trouble Marco Morosi, who makes a comfortable save.
I think Ayling went with the wrong option. Had he looked up, he would have had Shackleton just on his left shoulder, and had he played the ball back to the edge of the area, Shackleton would have been in a much better position to have maybe taken a shot on. I'm a big fan of Benning. I think he's a very good player, very good signing from Port Vale. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on this season, because I think that's a very good signing, somebody experienced, good at League One level. He will have some work to do here tonight with Ayling on this near side, but at the moment Shrewsbury keeping that defensive shape very well.
That's the voice of Nick Southall alongside myself, Stuart Dunn, here tonight at Elland Road. Mary Kate Wheeldon, also part of our BBC Radio Shropshire team in West Yorkshire tonight. It's time to win the ball on halfway with Perry. It just runs away from him, retrieved by Ampadu. And Leeds turn to come forward down the right-hand side this time with Doko JB. It's back into the Leeds half. Ampadu with a long ball played forward. That's well watched by Winchester. Feeney clears up towards halfway, towards the captain Bowman. Ball doesn't stick this time, but Perry's on hand to win it. Hearns, nice give and go with Bowman. Hearns now in the centre circle, challenged by JB. Free kick given against Town's 17-year-old.
Free kick inside the centre circle, but still quite pondersome in possession. Leeds waiting for that killer ball, not rushing at all, but Shrewsbury, as we've already mentioned, just saying to Leeds, OK, you keep the ball around the halfway line. You're not hurting us at the moment. It's been a very good start. 12 minutes gone.
JB for Leeds, 10 yards inside his own half. Knocks it out to the left-hand side to Helder. Goes back to Ampadu. I think Leeds fans want the ball to go forward a little bit more, maybe, at times.
See Ampadu just turning around to the crowd, because there were a few boos, and I think they feel that this is a bit pedestrian. They're not going anywhere, Leeds. That's real credit to Shrewsbury. You can hear the groans around us.
Well, they're just keeping the ball, but they're going sideways and backwards a lot of the time, aren't they? And I think the Leeds fans wanted to go forward.
It's almost
with a bit more regularity.
Trying to bore Shrewsbury out of it and catch them asleep and play that through ball.
But so much quality in this Leeds side, it could all open up for them very quickly. Here they come with Pervader, former Manchester City player, on the move. Good ball into the area, well won by Perry. Danger still not over. Here's JB to Helder. Helder shoots, and he shoots over the bar, and the ball ends up in the Norman Hunter stand, and that'll be a goal kick, and it remains Leeds 0, Shrewsbury 0, 14 minutes played.
Yeah, but just allowed a bit too much room there for Archie Gray, but fortunately he couldn't get onto the ball. But yeah, it's an effort from outside the box, but he was going to find it very difficult to score from there. I still think they shielded the goal very well. What does interest me is this new position for Carl Winchester. We are so used to him being the composer in that midfield, protecting the back line, pulling the strings, and now in this new position over on the right hand side in that wing back position. I'm just fascinated to see how he adapts to that.
He's just so energetic, isn't he? His energy levels are fantastic.
Well, that's a position you need somebody like that who can get, I would say the wing back position is the person that does the most running in a team. So
he's up and down, isn't he, all the time. Headed on by Benning here on halfway, but Leeds with it back. Pervader in his bright pink boots uses Ayling, and Leeds now in the penalty area with Gelhard. They look for Pervader again. Challenge comes in from Perry. Good challenge as well. Shrewsbury clear. Pervader still down. Just thought that was well won by the town midfield player. Pervader now getting back to his feet. Leeds keep it 10 yards inside the Shrewsbury half with Shackleton to Cresswell. And now Ampadu again in the centre circle. Short ball back to his central defensive colleague Cresswell. Leeds now with Ayling, works it in field to Pervader. Well won by Anderson this time on Pervader. And Bayliss this time moves in, and he's caught in possession, and that will be a Shrewsbury Town free kick.
This game is made for somebody like Tom Bayliss, playing in front of over 30,000, an immaculate playing surface. I think he'll really rise to the occasion. A bit
like
the
Derby last season in front of a big crowd when he played so well.
Yeah, and he may find, strangely enough, against a former Premier League side, that he may have a bit more time on the ball. It's not like being at Accrington Stanley on a mud heat where you're going to get somebody coming through you. So I think that this is a real opportunity for Tom Bayliss tonight.
Long clearance from Rossi, helped on by Hearns, and this time it does go through kindly to Darlow, who bowls the ball out to Helder. Gives it back to Ampadu, midway inside his own half. Plays it slightly behind him to Cresswell. And now the ball forward to Pervader, who is a very talented player on this right-hand side. Lots of pace and ability. Here he is again, pretty direct this time. Looks for Ayling. Town getting in a decent challenge once more. Perry looks after the ball nicely. Gives it to Winchester, who's closed down by Gelhard. Goes back to Morosi. Morosi takes a touch and deliberately plays the ball over to the left-hand side towards Benning. Too high for him. Might have been a little bit of a shove as well from Ayling, but all within the laws of the game, and play continues with a Leeds throw taken quickly by Ayling to Cresswell. And now Ampadu. Matt Taylor right on the edge of the technical area, just urging his team on here. Leeds attack down the left-hand side. They've got Dan James on the ball here. Here's James twisting, turning and falling over as Winchester easily takes it off him this time. Picks out Kenner. Kenner's been caught in possession. Pervader for Leeds, 30 yards from goal. Back to goal, and Leeds look for the ball out to the right, and it's overhit. Doesn't give Ayling any sort of opportunity, and it will be a Shrewsbury Town throw. And the longer it stays a 0-0, the more you sense, the more that Shrewsbury will grow in confidence, and the more potentially a little bit of frustration might emanate from the stands here, from some of the Leeds supporters, because they will come here tonight knowing their team are big favourites to progress, a team just down from the Premier League. Quite a lot of these Leeds players played in the Premier League last season, that weight of expectation.
Yeah, well, there's a real energy around Ellen Road, but at the moment they're quite subdued, aren't they? And that's because Shrewsbury Town have played so well, and it hasn't been the case of parking the bus. Shrewsbury, when they've had the chance, have tried to be on the front foot.
Benning for Shrewsbury to Bayliss, midway inside the Leeds half, left-hand side. Bayliss goes back into his own half to Flanagan. Good atmosphere at Ellen Road tonight, big crowd. Long ball forward is overhit and it goes behind, and that will be a Leeds goal kick, but I can't see many empty seats here tonight. I'm even trying to, you can't quite see the top of the upper tier of the Jack Charlton stand opposite because of the way the main stand roof falls. But it's pretty full tonight. You would have thought there could be, 35,000
Yeah,
perhaps?
that's what they reckoned. They said just over 30,000 at about 4 o'clock, and then I think they've had quite a few people with the good weather deciding to come along as well, so it's brilliant to see.
Shackleton brings the ball forward. Here's Ayling, looks to get forward. The Leeds captain works it in field to Gelhard. Shrewsbury clear, but Leeds can keep the pressure on with James. James finds a teammate, shot from outside the area, just over the bar from the youngster Archie Gray, given the ball by Dan James. And Gray, 17 years of age, made his debut here for the first team on Sunday against Cardiff. Had one thought in his mind: can I get a shot away? And it wasn't a bad effort. I think Morosi may have had it covered, but it didn't clear the bar by much.
Yeah, a lot of expectation for Archie Gray in these parts. Such a talented young player. Leeds are growing into this game. They are being more effective, more assertive, trying to get the ball into the final third quicker than they were in the opening 14 minutes or so. In particular down the right-hand side, Luke Ayling's finding a bit of room, but still Shrewsbury defending very well.
Leeds go back to the goalkeeper Darlow, given the ball back by JB. Darlow under pressure from Bowman, keeps a cool head, gives it to Ampadu. Darlow now does give it away, almost gave it away, just bounced away from Perry, but Perry does win it now. Back for the town, not for the first time tonight. Made a good start to this game, Perry. Forward it goes to Hearns. And the Norway under-18 international. Nice ball retention, back into his own half to Flanagan, works it out to the left-hand side to Benning. And now Town with Anderson on halfway, still 0-0 here. 20 minutes played in this League Cup first round tie at Elland Road. So little targets you set yourselves, I'm sure, when you come away to a big club. Can we get to 15 minutes in the game? 20 minutes. And Town very much in this game. It's tight. Leeds having a bit more of the ball in recent minutes. A couple of shots over the bar, but nothing really to trouble Morosi as yet. Town keep the ball working it well on the right. They go back to Winchester, and Winchester decides the best option this time is to send it back to Morosi. A couple of yards outside of his penalty area. Long ball drilled forward to Benning, who does really well to keep it in. And Benning goes to the return. Benning driving forward here. Benning still, and that's a good recovery challenge from Shackleton. And the ball works its way back to Darlow, the goalkeeper. But excellent from Benning, the way he rose and won the ball. He kept it in initially in the air, rising high above Ayling.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the main attributes for Benning as well.
Kenner's won the ball, giving it to Bowman, and he couldn't quite take the ball in his stride, just stretching a bit.
Yeah, Bowman wasn't expecting the ball to come back at him, but Kenner did really well to win the ball high up the field.
It's a feature of the game, isn't it, so far? The high press from Shrewsbury Town, not giving Leeds any time on the ball, and great awareness to win the ball a number of times.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of when under Paul Hurst, when they had a go-go playing that high pressing line, and that's why I think you've got to give real credit to Matt Taylor, because they haven't come here to sit in behind the ball. They've come here with a plan on how to score against Leeds United. You know, they're hitting those wide areas well. Marco Morosi is predominantly looking for Benning on this left-hand side, hitting that diagonal ball, and then the forwards are pressing very well in those high areas.
Shrewsbury look to win the ball. It could break to Bowman here on the edge of the box. Over the game has been stopped for an earlier challenge on Helder, but it's certainly part of Shrewsbury's game plan. We can see Matt Taylor just gesturing towards his team, just push forward whenever Leeds tried to play out from the back, giving them no time at all to play out from the back, which is a great tactic.
Yeah, I think Shrewsbury have looked the better team on the ball. I think they've been more positive as well when they've had possession. I just think that with Kenner pushing a bit higher, they've got Hearns up there as well. We're seeing great work rate from Perry. Bayliss is working his socks off as well. That they have a real chance to nick the ball.
Well, Bayliss has won the ball now in the penalty area. Tries to find Kenner, block, and break towards Benning here. 25 yards out to Perry. Bayliss still available on the left-hand side, and he's given the ball now. Anderson on the overlap. Bayliss still plays the ball into the area, looking for Kenner. Kenner turns, good strength and determination to pick out Benning to Anderson. Shrewsbury still have it left-hand side as they attack the Don Revie stand end here at Elland Road with Perry. He's dispossessed though now by Pervader. The counter-attack could be on, but it won't be, because there's Kenner to win the ball so effectively to Anderson. Back to Flanagan, 10 yards inside the town half. Plays it square, and there's Morosi playing almost as a central defender this time. Morosi gets his pass just right this time to pick out Benning. Matt Taylor applauding Town's ball retention here. Kenner nudges the ball back to Anderson. And Anderson with the long high ball forward towards Bowman, Saturday's goal scorer. Leeds win the header, only as far as Kenner. Back at his former club tonight. Picks out Bayliss, who keeps it in, or doesn't quite keep it in the end, and it will be a Leeds throw that is taken quickly by Ayling. But it's still 0-0 here. 24 minutes played on BBC Radio Shropshire at Elland Road tonight. Shrewsbury have won the ball again here. This is Hearns. Has it taken off him by the Norwegian Helder this time? But Town win it again. Winchester well forward this time. Uses Perry. He's knocked off the ball. Gelhardt now in the centre circle. Runners left and right for Leeds. Gelhardt finds James, and now Pervader in the penalty area. Tries to make space for the shot. Pervader still does shoot. No shot. Well saved by a diving Morosi.
Yeah, lovely save by Marco Morosi. And you know, they're playing this high pressing game, Shrewsbury. It's brave and it's great to see. But it will leave moments like that where they may be slightly exposed, but I still think they had enough back to deal with that, and it was a good save. Again, forcing the shot from outside the area. So still Leeds really not throwing any punches at Shrewsbury of any note. They've been restricted from long-range efforts, and that's because Shrewsbury are playing so well. I really love the energy they've got in that attacking phase.
And that's what you call the first proper save, if you like, isn't it, for Morosi tonight? And it's come in the 25th minute. Shrewsbury free kick on halfway here. Flanagan will leave it for the former Carlisle skipper Feeney. Shay Dunkley on the bench tonight, by the way, for just joining us on BBC Radio Shropshire, the captain who has been injured in pre-season and was suspended for the opener against Cheltenham on Saturday. But great to see Dunkley back involved tonight. Free kick taken then by Feeney up towards Bowman, and the ball overhit and it goes through for a Leeds goal kick. No Max Mata again in the Shrewsbury Town squad tonight, as we heard from Matt Taylor on Saturday. Town just waiting for clearance to be able to play Mata, who joined Shrewsbury recently from the Irish club Sligo. Elliot Bennett also missing out at the moment for Shrewsbury. But Town win the ball here with Benning. Ayling moves in and wins it back for Leeds. Moves up towards halfway in the centre circle. Uses Gray. And now James on the move down the left-hand side. James shoots, and it's well off target from Daniel James, who was on loan at Fulham, wasn't he, in the playing for Fulham last year. He's now back at Leeds, having joined Leeds from Manchester United a couple of years ago. But he's so quick and he's direct, isn't he, James? He's a player I really like. Wish we'd have seen more of him at Shrewsbury Town. I remember watching Dan James play for Shrewsbury in a pre-season friendly as a sub at Brackley. And then he played in some of the pre-season games at the Meadow. But the only time I remember him figuring on a team sheet for the Town was in the League Cup at Nottingham Forest, but he didn't get on. And then he returned to Swansea a few weeks after that. Who could ever have predicted he was going to become the player he has? Or clearly a very talented player, but we didn't really get to see much of him at Shrewsbury Town. Here's Perry for Town, driving forward 30 yards from goal. Perry still. Perry takes a shot on deflection, and it's gone in! Shrewsbury lead at Elland Road! Great run from Taylor Perry, and he got to within 20 yards or so of the Leeds United goal. Took a shot on, it takes a deflection, it beats Darlow, and it goes in off the post, and Shrewsbury lead at Elland Road in the League Cup. What a moment for Taylor Perry. Leeds United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1.
Well, they deserve that, Stu. He's picked that up from just outside the centre circle, went on a run. A diagonal run over towards the right channel, had options to his right, but decided to take the shot on, take a deflection and pass the keeper Darlow. And it's just what Shrewsbury deserve. You know, they've been the better team on the ball. They've looked to be aggressive when they can be, but then as a defensive unit, they've kept their shape really well. But this is not a team that have come here to pack 11 players in behind the ball. They've looked to try and take the game to Leeds and deserve that lead.
Wonderful run from Taylor Perry. Wondered whether he was going to look for the pass out wide. I think Winchester was up with him. But he had one thought in his mind: positivity. Can I shoot? Can I score a goal? And he does. His first Shrewsbury goal, and what a place to get it.
It's a confident decision for him to make as well, because I think the natural thing would have been that he would have seen Winchester flying on his right shoulder and had lots of room. And I think the natural thing would have been, if you're not as confident to take the shot on, let Winchester have it and get the cross in. So that's brilliant to see, and Perry's made a tremendous start in that midfield.
So no clean sheet for Carl Darlow, the Leeds goalkeeper on his Leeds debut, beaten by that deflected effort from Taylor Perry. Fantastic noise from the travelling supporters. There isn't an away end here. The Shrewsbury Town supporters are further along from us in the blocks that are to the right of us, Nick, in the John Charles West stand here. And you can see lots of them out of their seats in support of their team, and an almighty roar and cheer when that ball hit the back of the net. When it hit the post, you wonder which way is it going to fall, but it spanned the right way, and it was a wonderful side, wasn't it? The ball back with Morosi here. Shrewsbury leading 1-0 at Leeds United.
Yeah, and it's much deserved. It was a lovely run by Taylor Perry, because he took several Leeds players out of the game by running diagonally down the right. He was probably better positioned to have made a dart down the left channel, but by running across them, he took two players out of it and then got himself into a shooting position. Bit of luck with a deflection inside of a post, but got it on target and scores.
Leeds 0, Shrewsbury 1. How good does that sound? A long way to go, but still a very enjoyable moment. Shrewsbury have a free kick here. The assistant has his flag up on this near side, so Shrewsbury have a free kick. Shrewsbury, who were beaten 4-0 here when they last visited Elland Road. At this stage of this competition, actually, in 2012, that season, it was played on a Saturday, and it was the very first game of the season. Neil Warnock was the Leeds manager, and goals from Luciano Becchio, Luke Varney, David Norris and Ross McCormack from the penalty spot gave Leeds a 4-0 victory in front of a crowd of just over 18,000 that day. There are a lot more people here tonight, and Shrewsbury have scored. They lead 1-0, and they're coming forward now with Benning to Bayliss. Bayliss goes back to Anderson. Town now with Flanagan in the centre circle. Look for the diagonal ball. Idea was there, but Winchester hadn't quite moved, and the ball goes behind, and that will be a Leeds goal kick. Well, Leeds, they fell 2-0 behind in the first half here on Sunday against Cardiff City in their opening game of the season. Goals at that end of the ground as well, where Perry has just scored in front of the Don Revie stand. There's another misplaced Leeds ball. Goes straight into touch as they try and play their way out from the back, and you can just sense a few nerves about this Leeds performance. Yeah. Now they're behind as well.
Yeah, they're on edge, and Shrewsbury have been the better team. I don't put it down to Leeds having an off night so far. I put it down to Shrewsbury playing really well, coming here with a plan and executing it perfectly so far.
Yep. The game plan working to perfection, not giving Leeds any time on the board as they try and play their way out from the back. Here's Ampadu, goes back to Darlow, and Darlow closed down by Hearns this time. Goes long this time, and some of the Leeds fans want him to go long a bit more often. Here's Kennett winning the ball unfairly, in the opinion of the referee this time, and that will be a Leeds United free kick. Leeds in their famous all-white kit. So many legends of the game have played for this football club, haven't they, over the years? They're 1-0 down to Shrewsbury Town tonight in the League Cup first round. We played 32 minutes. Leeds come forward down the left, this time with Helder. Helder looks for the run of James. James in the penalty area. Here is James. James goes on. Great challenge from Flanagan, and the ball bounces up, loops up, and Morose is there to catch it. But that's where James is dangerous. He's direct. He was allowed to continue his run in the box. Winchester went down. Did he slip? Was there contact? But a super challenge from Flanagan, and the ball loops up, but it's an easy take for Marco Morose. Shrewsbury still lead 1-0 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Nick Southall. Yeah, just an unfortunate slip there really for Carl Winchester, and Ben Feeney was wrong-footed, and Dan James got himself into the gap, but fortunately couldn't do anything from there. But again, we need to stress Leeds have had a couple of shots, but only one save from Marco Morose, and most of those efforts have been limited to outside the box. And here comes Shrewsbury with Perry, the goal scorer, on the ball, right hand side, goes short to Winchester this time. Town keeping it, moving it well. Perry again, popping up on the right hand side to good effect. Good ability again from Perry. Perry still, ball into the middle, and it's been headed behind by Ampadu for a Shrewsbury corner. Town after a second goal here at Ellen Road. Well, Perry, I know a few people at Wolves and talked about what a tenacious midfielder he can be. We've seen the part of his game where he can get stuck in, but he's very good on the ball as well, and his vision there was superb. Ampadu having to head the ball behind, and Leeds again under the cosh. And it will be Mal Benning who will go across to take this corner for Shrewsbury Town. Leeds have got everyone back inside their penalty area to defend this corner, which is taken by Benning towards Feeney. Feeney heads it down, and it hit Flanagan. Feeney won the header. Flanagan was in there, and in the end it's a Leeds touch, an important touch, a diverted round a post and behind for another corner, this time from the left hand side. Yeah, great call, Stu. It did hit Flanagan. I think that Darlow probably had it covered, the keeper. But again, what a sign this is. Every Leeds player back inside the box. Shrewsbury corner, this time from the left hand side at that packed home end of Elland Road. Bayliss with the corner towards the far post, punched away under pressure by Darlow. When I say the home end, of course there's two home ends here, isn't there, because there's Leeds United fans on all four sides of Elland Road. Ball out of play, will be an attacking throw for Shrewsbury Town. Shrewsbury leading here by 1-0. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Shropshire, a Town side that shows two changes from Saturday, the Cheltenham game. Benning and the 17-year-old Hearns in for Shipley and Udo tonight, and the 11 out there, all in red tonight. This new Shrewsbury Town kit being worn for the first time this evening, and they're doing a terrific job representing the team, the Town, so well. Shrewsbury 1-0 up. Anderson shoots from distance, not a bad hit from Anderson, it kept low, it was 35 yards out there, and Darlow diving to his left makes a save. Yeah, and Ryan Bowman was waiting to pounce as well. Good work by Bowman, and you don't blame Anderson taking a shot on. They have the lead, it just opened up. Here come Leeds down the right with Shackleton, gets his pass away to Gelhard, to Ayling, and now Helder 20 yards out, central position, gets his pass away to JB. Ball in from the left hand side, and Morose comes, and that's really good goalkeeping. Not a bad ball in from the left hand side. They were looking for Joe Gelhard, and Morose watched it all the way and came out and knocked it down and then picks it up, and it still leads 0. Shrewsbury 1, and the away fans loving it there, this big night out at this famous stadium Ellen Road, and Shrewsbury playing so well and leading thanks to that deflected effort from Taylor Perry in the 28th minute. Morose with the clearance over halfway, looking for Bowman, tries to find Hearns. Leeds clear. There's Flanagan winning the header, nice header as well to Feeney, knocks it forward, intercepted by Ampadu. Leeds with JB to Ampadu again, now with Helder, closed down by Hearns. Leeds fans again, it's pretty clear, isn't it? They want their team to get the ball forward a bit quicker than they are. Paveda now, nice skill, good dribbling from Paveda. Nowhere to go in the forward direction though, so he checks and goes back to Ampadu, to Creswell. Leeds with Creswell again to Ayling. That's a good challenge from Anderson, and Leeds with Creswell. Square ball to Ampadu, who couldn't quite control it this time, and Leeds from halfway with Helder goes all the way back to Darlow. Plays it out from the back to Creswell. Forward to Shackleton. And now Pervader moves in field to Gelhardt. Again, Flanagan so tight on him. Town win the ball with Bayliss now. Bayliss coming forward down the left-hand side, loses out in the challenge to Creswell. Pervader to Ayling, and here's Pervader again. Looks for Gray. Gelhardt gives it back to Gray. Great challenge again from Keller to win the ball, but he runs kindly for Pervader. Then it gets away from him and it's cleared. No nonsense from Town this time with Feeney. Sometimes it has to go, doesn't it? If it has to go, it has to go. And Feeney looks for Bowman, and Leeds tidy up, and Ampadu plays it back to Darlow. Shrewsbury still leading by a goal to nil. Well,
Pervader's key for Leeds United. I think for
looks
large,
the most likely, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think for large parts he's been looking to get the ball out wide. The thing is, Shrewsbury have got everything so well tied up with their shape that he's just not been getting on the ball.
James now on the ball, left-hand side of the penalty area as Leeds come forward to Helder. Back to James. To JB. And now Ampadu. To Shackleton, 35 yards from goal. Leeds have worked it from left to right. To Ayling now, the skipper. Moves in field. Town have plenty of red shirts behind the ball. Ayling takes a shot on, it's wide. Always travelling wide, but Town won't mind that one bit, that the Leeds captain Ayling is taking on a shot from outside the box, and it's well off target. Ayling, who's been here a long time, hasn't he? Joined Leeds in 2016 from Bristol City. Over 250 games for this football club. He's a big crowd favourite, but his effort always travelling wide of the target. Goal kick.
Yeah, I can't remember too many touches inside the box that Leeds have had. It shows you what a great defensive display this has been. What I have noticed is that Pervader in the last 5 minutes or so has been dropping a bit deeper. He's going in search of a ball, and they're looking for him more so in the channels now, and he's picking the ball up around the halfway line and just creating a few openings. So that's going to be key, making sure that they can keep Pervader out of the game for as long as they can.
Ampadu for Leeds. Shrewsbury still leading by 1-0. We have 5 minutes to play in this first half. Who knows how much time will be added on, though. It's going to be a way of the game these days, isn't it, that we wait anxiously to see the fourth official. Not anxiously, but with expectation to see. Well, I suppose it was a bit of anxiousness on the Saturday with Shrewsbury 1-0 up. He didn't want 11 minutes to be shown, and they ended up playing about 13.5 minutes in that second half. Ball out of play for Shrewsbury Town throw, but it's going to make it interesting, isn't it? We've got to expect longer football matches now with the time added on.
Well, I suppose the fans get their money's worth, don't they? I think that the key thing really is the amount of minutes that these players will be getting. I think you're going to have to see a lot more rotation going on, Stu, because I think they worked out it could be feel like an extra 7 games on top of the season. You put Shrewsbury's threadbare squad in February and March into that position, it makes it very difficult.
The transfer window still open for a few weeks yet, isn't it? So you would anticipate there will be further arrivals.
We just hope Shrewsbury don't lose anybody as well, Stu, because I think there are still clubs sniffing around some of the Shrewsbury Town players, so that's going to be key, making sure that they can keep the best players. Morosi
takes his free kick then from almost on the halfway line, looks for Bowman, goes into touch this time. Yeah, Town did lose some very influential and important players in the summer, didn't they? People like Matt Pennington and Luke Leahy, the captain. But the 11 out there tonight doing magnificently. Shrewsbury lead by 1-0. Taylor Perry in the 28th minute, the summer signing from Wolves, a player who joined Shrewsbury initially on trial and did well enough to be offered a deal. Long ball forward from Flanagan here, and Ayling improvises to good effect just to chest the ball back to his goalkeeper Carl Darlow. Leeds attack now down the left with Helder, works it into the feet of Gelhardt, doesn't reach him though. Leeds now do clip it forward. Here's Gray in the penalty area, going away from goal. Gray still needs some support. Gray still looks after the ball well. Goes back to Helder. First time ball into the penalty area is poor, easily cleared. Leeds keep the pressure on with Javing. And Town win it again. Always someone in a red shirt in the right place to clear the danger. Great anticipation for Matt Taylor's Shrewsbury Town, who continue to lead 1-0 here at Ellen Road. A long, long way to go. Of course there is. But great foundations have been laid, haven't they, in this first half by Town. Leeds nudge the ball over halfway to Shackleton. Back with Ampadu. Uses Charlie Cresswell, England under 21 international. He was on loan at Millwall last season, Cresswell. And here's Ampadu, moves forward. Patient build-up again from Leeds. Shrewsbury had plenty of players back behind the ball, everybody really back behind the ball, and Leeds again having to go sideways and backwards. Ampadu to Cresswell. Bit of space now for Shackleton, who takes a touch. Chance for Shackleton to maybe get the ball in the penalty area. Still with Shackleton, into the feet of Gelhard. Leeds build now with Paveda. There's a potential danger on this right-hand side. Ailing, Paveda makes a move. Leeds looks for Gelhard, whose control lets him down, and it goes through easily to Morosi. And again, Matt Taylor just applauding his team for keeping their shape, keeping their discipline. And again, a Leeds move peters out with no end product. 2 minutes to go in this first half, plus, of course, added on time.
Yeah, let's see how long it could be. But Gelhard's hardly had a sniff up front, and we're talking about they haven't had many touches inside the box. What they have had, still Shrewsbury have defended very well. I just hope there isn't going to be too long added on, because Leeds are going to have a lot of options on the bench for later. It goes into the game with them trailing, and that's where I think it's a disadvantage for clubs like Shrewsbury in these kind of big cup games.
Yeah, lots of quality on the bench for Leeds, including the Colombian international Luis Sinistera, former Feyenoord player. 20 seconds to go, plus added on time at the end of this first half. Shrewsbury will be really determined to go in at half time with their lead intact. Leeds have the ball on halfway with JB. How to Helder. Just 4 minutes of added on time will be played. Leeds attack down the left hand side. Winchester goes across and wins it, but the decision given against Winchester for the challenge on James. Leeds free kick, couple of yards in from the corner flag on the left hand side as they continue to play the home side towards the Norman Hunter stand here. All seated stadium, of course, Ellen Road. That looks perhaps the smallest of the four stands in terms of capacity. Leeds free kick in a dangerous position as we move into added on time at the end of this first half. Town leading 1-0.
Was a free kick, just a push in the back there from Winchester.
So free kick to Leeds. Shrewsbury's turn to get everybody back inside their penalty area. Leeds deliver then towards the far post. Header well won by Flanagan for the visiting team. Paveda to Gray, 20 yards out on the angle. Ball delivered towards the far post. Bowman wins an important header, flicks it behind. Leeds corner.
It's moments like this when you've got pretty much a full house at Ellen Road, and goodness knows how much will be added on at the end of this game. That's going to be the key moments in this game.
So Leeds corner. Shrewsbury leading 1-0. Stoppage time at the end of this first half. Lots of Leeds players in the penalty area. Corner comes in, well headed away by Bayliss. No out ball for the Town for the time being, but that's a bit of a poor header actually from the youngster Gray. Heads it straight into touch, and that will be a welcome side for Shrewsbury Town, because Leeds had plenty of players forward waiting for the ball to come back into the box potentially, but Leeds knock it into touch, and it's an easy throw, isn't it, for Shrewsbury Town in the right back position. Matt Taylor must be so proud and so pleased the way his team have acted out the game plan in this first half to frustrate Leeds and do more than that, to cause Leeds problems and to take the lead against them. Town throw flicked on by Bowman. Haynes gives chase, closes down the Leeds goalkeeper. Fantastic to see youngsters being given a chance, isn't it, in the first team in a match like this. 17 years of age. Hearn starting here for Shrewsbury at Ellen Road tonight. Great story, and he's playing well. Here's James on the move for Leeds. Moves in field, James still looks for the give and go. In fact, Gelhardt turns and shoots, and it's just wide. Much better from Leeds. Good direct play from Dan James. Picked out Joe Gelhardt, who turned well away from Anderson and dragged his left foot shot in the end, about 4 yards wide of Rosi's left-hand post in the end. Goal kick, Shrewsbury to lead by 1-0.
Yeah, it's good work by Gelhardt. Anderson just got caught the wrong side, and Gelhardt managed to get that shot away, but again, not causing any problems for Marco Morosi. It's been the perfect first half for Shrewsbury. If they can go in still leading by 1-0, it's just what they deserve. They've executed this game plan perfectly. I think they've been brave when they can be. I think Matt Taylor will be absolutely delighted.
Ayling plays the ball back to Darlow. It was a bit of an awkward back pass in the end. Darlow had to chest it down and then volley it away. And he's only got the ball clear about 30 yards from the corner flag on this left-hand side. So Shrewsbury have a throw taken by Benning. Gives it to Bowman. Nice control on the chest from the captain. Lovely back heel to Benning. Benning, though, is dispossessed by Pervader. Well won back by Anderson to Kenner. Town working so hard for each other. Flanagan swaps passes with Feeney this time. Flanagan, that's a good ball played forward along the ground to Hearns. Town keeping the ball, moving it very nicely here. They look for Perry, bit too intricate this time, and the ball this time does go out of play, and that'll be a Leeds throw in the left back position. But Leeds 0, Shrewsbury 1, and we played 4 minutes, haven't we? Have added on time here, so the half-time whistle imminent any second now, you would have thought. Creswell for Leeds, on we go. Creswell goes back to Ampadu, playing in the heart of the Leeds United defence tonight, the Wales international. Here's Ampadu once again. He's become a regular in the Wales team, hasn't he? 44 Wales caps. And there is a half-time whistle. And I think it's fair to say the Leeds United supporters not overly impressed, especially in a scoreline of Leeds United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1. What a fantastic first half here for Matt Taylor's side, who have been disciplined, they've been resilient, they've been hard-working, and they've caused Leeds problems. They've pressed and they've won the ball a number of times inside the Leeds United half, and they've scored a very good goal as well. It came in the 28th minute. Taylor Perry drove forward from halfway. We wondered if he was going to pass. Not a bit of it though. One thought in his mind, can he get the shot away? And he did. Took a deflection en route, went in off the post, gave Darlow, the goalkeeper, no chance. Taylor Perry's first goal for Shrewsbury Town, and one to remember, and that divides the teams at half-time. Leeds have had some moments, some shots over the bar from Helder and from Gray. Pervader with a low shot, saved by Morosi. Ayling wide, Gelhardt wide. Anderson's tested Darlow from distance, but all things considered, given the stage they're playing on in front of 35,000 people tonight at a packed, atmospheric Elland Road against a very good Leeds United side. Wonderful, wonderful first half for Shrewsbury Town, who lead 1-0 at half-time. Nick Southall.
Yeah, brilliant first half from Shrewsbury, fresh from that 1-0 win against Cheltenham to start off their League One campaign at the weekend, and they've come here with a real game plan, and that isn't to park the bus in behind the ball. They've certainly got a plan to get Benning into the game as much as they can as an option on this left-hand side. Every time Marco Morosi has the ball, he's always looking up to see where Benning is, and I think that's where they've been most fruitful, Shrewsbury Town. But the goal coming from Taylor Perry, winning the ball just outside the centre circle. The easier option would have been to have made a darting run down the left channel, but instead he took a couple of players out of it from Leeds. They couldn't catch up with him. He made a diagonal run out to the right-hand side towards the D, and again the easier option would have been to have laid the ball off to his right to Carl Winchester, who is in acres of room. But actually it shows the confidence of Taylor Perry to say, no, I'm going to take the shot on here, and it was a really good shot, hit it hard. Bit fortuitous because it took a deflection, hit the inside of the post, but it was on target, and he got his rewards for being brave and being confident to take it on. And it's just what Shrewsbury deserves, Stuart, because Leeds United may well have had 4 or 5 shots, only one save that Marco Morosi's had to make.
Haven't opened up town, have they?
I know that the shots have been outside the area from 20, 25 yards away from goal. And Shrewsbury will say, take those on all night long, because it will have to be a wonder goal to beat our goalkeeper, Marco Morosi, who's an outstanding goalkeeper. So I think all round, this is a very well-drilled Shrewsbury team. You know, they're keeping their shape really well. And the other good thing is, I just like the high press that they brought in. And I must compliment Tom Bayliss as well. I think he's doing very well in that loose kind of number 10 position. He is dropping deeper when he can. But that said, there have been a number of times when he's been up level with Ryan Bowman, because they've been winning the ball high up in that final third. So all credit to Shrewsbury. It's what they deserve. The Leeds fans, some of them booing at half-time, and it's only the second game of the season. So it really shows you how well Shrewsbury have done so far, but a long, long way to go.
A long, long way to go, yeah. You could sense the frustration, couldn't you, from some of the home fans as the half-time whistle was sounded. It has been a while, actually, since Leeds won here at Elland Road. Their last win here, April the 4th, against Nottingham Forest, 2-1 in the Premier League. They ended the season with some pretty heavy home defeats here in the Premier League as they were relegated. Crystal Palace won here 5-1, Liverpool 6-1, Tottenham 4-1. They've had draws with Leicester and Newcastle in the closing weeks of last season. They drew with Cardiff here on Sunday, so they haven't won here for a little while. And they'll have to do it the hard way if they're to end that run tonight. Magnificent from Shrewsbury Town, who lead by 1-0 at half-time. Taylor Perry, the goal scorer, in the 28th minute. Shrewsbury leading in at Elland Road at half-time, and we have the second half to come for you next, right here on BBC Radio Shropshire.
Yeah, Adam, back with you tomorrow morning. We'll bring you full reaction to tonight's game as well. Leeds against Shrewsbury at half-time. Shrewsbury lead, and deservedly so, by 1-0. Taylor Perry with the goal, Tom Bayliss with the assist. Really good debut so far as well from the youngster Travis Hearns, but a long way to go here in the Carabao Cup. So more to come here from Elland Road. Let's have a look elsewhere in the competition. It is the first round in the northern section. Burton Albion are 1-0 down against Leicester City at home. Wimbledon in the southern section trail 1-0 at home to Coventry City. Godden scoring from the penalty spot after 17 minutes. Bristol City lead Oxford United 2-1. Cardiff 2, Colchester United 2. And Ipswich lead Bristol Rovers by 1-0. In the Champions League, it's the qualifying stages. Panathinaikos 0, Marseille 0, Slovan Bratislava 1, Maccabi Haifa 2, Rangers lead Servette 2-1. And in the Europa Conference League, third qualifying round, it ended Larnaca 1, Maccabi Tel Aviv 1, and Ghent from Belgium are 5-0 up against Pogoń Szczecin. 5-0 they lead, and there is still a long way to go in that game. So we'll keep you up to date with the scores and the goals as they go in around the country. Well, we are a few minutes away from the start of the second half here at Elland Road. Near capacity for tonight's Carabao Cup game, where Shrewsbury lead by 1-0. We'll bring you that goal again very shortly to relive that very special moment for Taylor Perry. Let's bring you now commentator tonight, Stuart Dunn, here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Stuart, what a first half it was for Shrewsbury. One thing we do need to keep an eye on, I mean, you look at the strength in depth that Leeds United have on their bench. It's going to be fascinating to see how Matt Taylor uses his substitutes tonight. And I think this whole thing with how many minutes get added on, I think it's going to change the whole dynamics of when substitutes come on. Traditionally, it's with 20 minutes or 15 minutes to go, but you may find that goes slightly later now because of the amount of added on time.
Yes, exactly that, Nick. Leeds have got 9 subs tonight, including 2 goalkeepers. You look at the outfield options. Luis Sinisterra, the Colombian player, international, signed last July from Feyenoord for a substantial fee. He I'm sure is at the forefront maybe of Daniel Farker's mind. Shrewsbury have options on the bench as well. Daniel Udo and Jordan Shipley, who started on Saturday, both on the bench for the Town tonight. But the 11 out there doing fantastically well. Got to be mindful of the fact that this is a Wednesday night. Shrewsbury's usual midweek match night is a Tuesday, so it doesn't give much recovery time, does it, for the game at Stevenage this Saturday? Stevenage did play last night and knocked out Watford, didn't they, on penalties in the first round of the League Cup.
Tough game that is.
It is a tough one. It is a tough one to come at Stevenage, managed by a former Leeds manager in Steve Evans, of course. But that's to think about and to talk about on Saturday. Shrewsbury doing splendidly here tonight and leading here at Ellen Road at the halfway stage.
And let's hear how they scored that goal.
Here's Perry for Town, driving forward 30 yards from goal. Perry still. Perry takes a shot on deflection and it's gone in! Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road! Great run from Taylor Perry, and he got to within 20 yards or so of the Leeds United goal. Took a shot on, it takes a deflection, it beats Darlow, and it goes in off the post, and Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road in the League Cup. What a moment for Taylor Perry. Leeds United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1.
And we are just moments away from the second half here on BBC Radio Shropshire. And here we go, the second half live on BBC Radio Shropshire. Shrewsbury lead by 1-0.
And Leeds come forward straight away on the left-hand side. They've made changes at half-time, haven't they? I think it was a double change made by Daniel Farker, Sam Byram and Pascal Strauch introduced. I think it was Darko Javy and Leo Helder, the players to be replaced by Leeds. Get confirmation of that in a moment. Leeds work it out to the right-hand side. Ball played forward. Anderson has some defensive work to do here, and he does it well. Wins the ball, plays it forward to Bowman, who holds it up well. The Leeds have won it back. Leeds in the penalty area on the edge of the box. Shot comes in, takes a deflection off Perry, and a Leeds corner straight away at the start of this second half.
A good start back from Leeds, but I'm sure they would have had a bit of a rocket there from Daniel Farker at half-time. Very pondersome at times in possession. Now look to take the game to Shrewsbury here in these opening stages.
Yes, a confirmation over the tannoy. It is a double change made by Daniel Farker, the Leeds manager. Leeds corner then, taken to the near post, cleared on the volley by Anderson. Goes out of play, will be a Leeds throw. Leeds playing towards the Don Revy stand end, which looks pretty much full to capacity here tonight. Ampadu for Leeds. They have the ball some 30 yards out. Hannah, plenty of players back behind the ball. Paveda to Gray. Leeds trying to play through Shrewsbury Town with James. James tries to spin and Anderson clears well up towards halfway. Just no outboard at the moment at the start of this second half. You're bound to have spells like this where Leeds will have lots of the ball when you come to Ellen Road. James again popping up on the right-hand side. Spent much of the first half on the left-hand side. And now James crosses from the right towards the far post. Really important header. Flicked off the top of Carl Winchester's head this time and goes out of play. And it will be a Leeds throw to be taken by Byram, who's just returned to Leeds. He played for the club earlier in his career. Most recently he's been at Norwich City and rejoined Leeds United towards the end of last week. He's on at the interval for Leeds. Ampadu. Shrewsbury leading by 1-0. Short ball from Ampadu to Strauch. And again Strauch goes square to Creswell. Plenty of possession here for Leeds as they try and find their way through for an equaliser. Again, very patient. How to have everybody back behind the ball. Leeds go out to the right-hand side this time. Chance for the ball to come into the middle here, maybe. Still very patient. Here's Geldard in the area. Geldard shoots. Well defended by Flanagan, who hit him on the back. Runs kindly for James. Back on the left-hand side, Dan James. And again, James. Twisting, turning, looking to make something happen as Leeds chase an equaliser. Finds Gray to Ayling, the Leeds captain. Very experienced player. Keeps the ball moving. Leeds still asking questions of Benning this time. They move in field to Ampadu. Back with Strauch on as a half-time sub. The other substitute, Byram. Strauch works it forward to Poveda. Leeds have put together a lot of passes in this move, and they've gone from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. It's said to be an end product for them this time. Ball played forward towards Poveda. All very intricate from Leeds, and Town have won it well with Kenner. Volleyed away, not convincingly by Feeney. The ball will be kept in here near the corner flag on the left-hand side. With Dan James again, looks for the 1-2 with his Wales teammate Ampadu. James goes down under the challenge of Winchester, and referee Seb Stockbridge decides that should be a Leeds free kick right on top of the corner flag. Yellow card for Carl Winchester as well.
They've come out with traps, haven't they? With real hunger here, Leeds United. Energy about their attacking play now. Rather than those backwards and sideways passes, they're looking to take the defenders on, and Shrewsbury having to get everybody back in behind the ball. A crucial 5 or 10 minutes here, Stu.
A lot of noise at Ellen Road, isn't there? Leeds fans turning up the volume as they try and roar their team onto an equaliser. Here comes a free kick from the left-hand side. Header well won by Feeney. It's only got a fall to Poveda. Bowman goes across to help out defensively. Poveda still gets his pass away to Shackleton. Back with Poveda, hugging that far touchline. Terrific noise from the Leeds fans, and they have another corner. Ball drilled against Anderson this time, and this is a big test, isn't it, for Shrewsbury Town? For a lot of these players, this will be one of their biggest games of their careers, playing at Ellen Road, maybe in front of this sort of atmosphere. And Leeds have another corner. They take it quickly. They take it short to Poveda. Poveda still turns away from Bayliss, but a good challenge comes in quickly from Perry, back helping out in the left back position. You don't get this noise ordinarily watching Shrewsbury Town and around the country, do you, at a ground? This is exceptional noise from the Leeds United supporters as they try and play their part in their team turning around this League Cup first round tie. Shrewsbury still lead by 1-0. 51 minutes played. Leeds with Byram on the ball, well forward down the left-hand side. Winchester getting very tight to him. Goes back to Strauch, in field to Ampadu. Leeds in their famous all-white kit. Start again inside their own half. Noise is relentless here from the Leeds United supporters. Strauch picks out Byram again, coming forward down the left-hand side. Take you through the Town team again shortly as James flicks the ball forward into the penalty area. Could drag towards Poveda, who shoots, pushed away by the goalkeeper. The rebound has been turned in. Seems to hit Gelhardt. The shot initially saved by Rossi, the goalkeeper. He pushed it out, but the rebound has been turned in, and Leeds, who have been pushing strongly in the start of the second half, shot from Poveda, pushed away by Rossi, and turned in by Joe Gelhardt for a Leeds equaliser in the 52nd minute. Leeds 1, Shrewsbury 1.
Well, it's really unlucky for Shrewsbury because I thought he was a decent save by Marco Morosi at his near post. The only issue was that from the position where he was with that save, just couldn't quite get the ball away from the centre, and there was Gelhardt where you would expect the striker to be to finish quite simply. And they've come out with traps with real energy here, Leeds United, and probably sense that they can go on and score again. And Shrewsbury has just got to hang on in there, Stuart. They've played really well. They've been the better team. Can't let their heads go down, stay organised. They'll get their own chances again in the second half.
Well, this is a big test now, isn't it? Town are going to send on Jordan Shipley shortly. Leeds have the ball in the centre circle. James, 30 yards from goal. James. Travis Hearns comes across. James gets his pass away. Little flick from Byram, looking for Poveda. Well won by Town's goal scorer Perry. And again Perry, battling well. Loses out to Byram this time. Leads with Poveda. Looks for James down the left-hand side, and Feeney slides into really good effect. Good challenge. Puts the ball out of play for a Leeds attacking throw. Here comes Shipley for the Town. Going to be interesting to see who the change will be. Feeney down at the moment. Kind of a problem. You know, he's back to his feet, which is good to see.
I wonder if Travis Hearns may make way. I think he's played really well, but on such a big stage, young legs, the occasion as well, just maybe slightly tiring. So I just wonder whether Shipley would come on into a midfield role, but maybe a tactical thing as well, because they've just got to hang on in there.
Perry's won the ball really well inside the Town half, uses it well. Nice ball forward to Bayliss. Bayliss was looking for the run of Benning, wasn't he? And it's been blocked off by some vital covering. Leeds go back to the goalkeeper, Carl Darlow. Shipley waiting to come on. Leeds play it short to Gray, who turns really well on the edge of his own penalty area there from Bowman. Home fans enjoyed that. Leeds now driving forward, ball played forward, and it's overhit this time. And it goes behind, and that will be a goal kick. And here's a chance for Town to make the change. Final message of encouragement from Matt Taylor, the head coach, and you've called it Travis Hearns, who's done very well, hasn't he? 17 years of age, coming in to start tonight at Elland Road. But here we are, 10 minutes into the second half, and it is Hearns who's going to be replaced by Jordan Shipley, but he can be very proud of his performance here tonight against such quality opposition.
I think he's had an outstanding game, Travis Hearns. What a prospect he's going to be. Look, it's going to take time. We won't put too much pressure on him, but the signs are very good. But you could just see that he was starting to tire, that adrenaline kicking in. You know, 17-year-old in front of nearly a sellout crowd here at Elland Road, and Leeds have upped the tempo in this second half, haven't they? So I think the change is the right one at the right time.
It's great to see Matt Taylor prepared and confident enough to trust him tonight and play him in such an atmosphere. Good management and a very good performance from Travis Hearns, who is now replaced by Jordan Shipley, who's going to play in midfield. Seen much of him at left wing back, haven't we, since he came to the football club. Leeds have the ball in the centre circle. Town now then with Morosi in goal, Feeney, Flanagan and Anderson at the back, Winchester and Benning the wing backs, Perry, Kenner and Shipley now in midfield, and Bayliss further forward in support of Bowman. It's all Leeds though in this second half. They've got back on level terms, 1-1 at Elland Road on BBC Shropshire. Anderson wins the ball. But Leeds start again in the centre circle with a strike to James, to Pervader, forward to James, and that's well covered again by Feeney. Lifts it forward to Bowman, who wins the flick. Couldn't find a teammate, didn't have too much support there, Bowman, and Leeds start off another attack. Ampadu, forward to Pervader. Leeds 1, Shrewsbury 1. Town, who led from the 28th minute through Taylor Perry. Leeds levelled in the 52nd minute through Joe Gelhardt. Good pressing again from Town, and showing Leeds just have to be extremely patient. They look for James now, nudges it infield to Pervader, to Byram. 30 yards from goal, left-hand side. James again, forward to Gelhardt. Gelhardt challenged by Flanagan, who does terrifically well. Good composure, a nice ball forward to Bowman. It's a handball. No, says referee Stockbridge. Some of the Leeds fans, or lots of the Leeds fans, thought it should have been a Leeds free kick. Going to have another change shortly for Shrewsbury Town to see what develops here. Leeds attacking down the right with Ayling. Benning goes across, ball goes behind, Leeds corner.
Yeah, Danu Doe to be coming on, Stu, for Town, and what a great occasion this will be for Danu Doe as well. We saw what he could do at Anfield. Why can't he do the same at Elland Road?
Yeah, it'd be a nice goal-scoring double, wouldn't it? Anfield at Elland Road. He's getting some final instructions from Brian Jensen, the goalkeeping coach. Leeds corner. Really important spell in this game. Leeds having just equalised. Here comes a corner from the right towards Ampadu. Ball bouncing around. Leeds in front, and it fell very kindly for Pascal Strike. From close range. He gives Morosi no chance. And Leeds have turned it around here. Inside the opening 13 minutes of this second half. Town led at the break, but it's now Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 1.
Yeah, the header at the near post. In fact, he struck two men on the way through, and then Feeney lost his man, and Leeds score their second. Feeney just needed to be tighter there. And Shrewsbury concede at the back post. It's been all Leeds in this second half, as you would expect. You look at the team that they've got, despite the injuries that they've had, still lots of talent, internationals, and they've upped their game, haven't they?
Well, here comes a change, 59 minutes. Ryan Bowman, the captain, is looking to see who he's going to hand the captain's armband to, actually, as he comes off. And he's given the captain's armband to Carl Winchester, hasn't he, here? Who in turn, I think he's passing the armband on to Tom Flanagan. So Daniel Udoh coming on for Ryan Bowman. The change happening just before the hour. Shrewsbury trailing now by 2-1. Big half an hour ahead as they try and find a way back into this League Cup tie. Leeds in front. Goals in the second half from Gelhard and now from Strag. Here comes Perry. Perry goes down in the Leeds half. Shrewsbury free kick. And Shrewsbury showed in the first half they can cause Leeds problems. We've always expected a reaction from Leeds going in 1-0 down at half-time. I'm sure Daniel Farker would have had a few words to say. Constructive words, I'm sure, to his players at half-time, and they've responded positively, the Leeds players, in this second half. But Shrewsbury still very much in this League Cup game. Udoh now on, and half an hour to play, and Town have this free kick just about 10 yards in front of the centre circle, and it will be taken here by Bayliss. Town need a bit of quality with the delivery. Ball played out to the left-hand side, delivered into the middle now. Header won by Ampadu. Ball will be kept in by the goal scorer Perry, who does well again. Perry low ball in towards the near post, cleared by Ampadu. Up towards Pervader, who loses out to Benning. Town with Winchester goes back to Mirosi. Good first-time ball, looking to get Udoh involved straight away. Town with Bayliss. Leeds have won it back in the centre circle. Driving forward now with Pervader. Pervader still might think about the shot, does shoot, deflection, and it should be cleared here by Winchester. Up towards Udoh, really nice close control from Udoh to find Kenner, who's challenged by a couple of Leeds players, goes down under the challenge, or combined challenges, and that'll be a Shrewsbury Town free kick. Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 1, BBC Radio Shropshire. Here's Nick Southall.
Yeah, well, they've just got to ride the storm at the moment, but you know, they've got to expect that there would have been a reaction from Leeds United, and they're working really hard just to make sure that they don't concede again here. Dan Udoh coming on, he's going to make a big change. He'll provide something a bit different for them, a bit more pace up front, hit Leeds on the counter-attack. If Leeds overcommit with too many players forward, then there's a chance maybe for Shrewsbury to get a goal back.
Given how long he's been out of the side, I thought Udoh was excellent on Saturday and looked really sharp against Cheltenham. Shrewsbury have a throw midway inside the Leeds half, to be taken here by Winchester. Takes it short to Bayliss. Ball goes out of play, and that will be a throw to Leeds. But Udoh has shown he enjoys a big occasion, hasn't he? Most notably at Anfield, with that memorable FA Cup goal in the FA Cup third round a couple of years ago. And he's on for the final half an hour. Leeds with a long ball over halfway. Ball well won by Anderson, who volleys it back to Mirosi. Goes short to Anderson again. Lifts it over halfway, looking for the run of Udoh. And now Leeds on the move with Pervader. No way through. And Shrewsbury with a long ball forward to Udoh, heads it down. Shipley well forward, the subs combine. Shipley near the corner flag, does really well here. Shipley gets his pass away to Benning. Benning 20 yards out, ball in towards Udoh, or doesn't quite clear. Ampadu, who heads it clear, but Town pushing forward in search of an equaliser. They've got the fresh legs of Shipley and Udoh out there now. Town throw midway inside the Leeds half. Leeds leading by 2-1 here in this League Cup first round tie on BBC Radio Shropshire. Taylor Perry having given Town the lead in the first half. Town just taking their time over this throw, taken down the line now. Benning, the former Port Vale player, the ball had gone out actually. It'll be a Leeds throw instead. Now, Leeds, who have had their moments in this competition in the past, they were League Cup winners in the 1967-68 season. They beat Arsenal in the final. More recently, they were runners-up to Aston Villa in 1996. As the goalkeeper Carl Darlow keeps a cool head here, just to start a Leeds attack down the right-hand side. Shrewsbury, by the way, were semi-finalists in the very first season of the League Cup, back in 1960-61 season, when they lost to Rotherham in the semi-final. Town with Perry to Winchester. Ball goes out of play. That'll be a Leeds United throw.
We've had to move our effects mic, Stu, because we've got two gentlemen right in front of us. We're having a good old natter. So I just had to quickly move it out of the way because we'll catch the whole of their conversation.
Well spotted there. Leeds with Strag. Goes back to the goalkeeper. Darlow plays it out to the right-hand side. Leeds drill the ball forward down the right, and it runs into touch this time. And that will be a Shrewsbury Town throw in the left-back position. What can Shrewsbury do here in terms of turning this one around? It's a tough test for them, isn't it? Against this Leeds side, just down from the Premier League. They finished 19th in the top flight last season. They finished above Southampton, below Leicester. And the ball is back with Morosa, who plays it out to the right-hand side, looking for Winchester. Header won by Byram. Town now look for Bayliss, who's challenged by Ampadu. Leeds win it back with Byram. Now Ampadu. And Bayliss has gone down here, Nick.
Slightly worrying. Hopefully it's just cramp, but he's in a lot of pain here, Tom Bayliss, and it didn't appear that
Ampadu just checking how he is.
Yeah, it didn't appear that there was anything that happened in terms of an impact injury, but I'm hoping that he's going to be okay, because he looks into a lot of pain.
He does.
Just trying to remember, was it an ankle injury he had last year? He was on crutches, wasn't he, for a while?
Well, Chris Skitt is on.
Yeah,
the physio.
Just seeing a replay here, and he just couldn't put his foot down. He did go in for a challenge, but I don't think there was any contact from Ampadu. But he went to put his foot down on the floor, and he pretty much gave way. So we're just hoping here that it's not the end of the night for Tom Bayliss.
He's such an important player, isn't he, for the team?
He is.
They really missed him in the closing months of last season. He's back to his feet now.
That's good news. He can put weight onto that foot, which is great news, because he did seem to be in a lot of pain there, Tom Bayliss. Look, I think he's such a crucial player. I think he's a player that could play in the Championship, you know. And as you say, Shrewsbury missed him when he was out injured towards the end of the season, and it's a case of potentially what might have been.
So Town returned the ball to Leeds, the ball having been knocked out of play. And the ball is now back with Carl Darlow, the Leeds United goalkeeper, who was beaten by that Taylor Perry deflected effort in the 28th minute. Leeds leading by 2-1 as we move towards the midway point of this second half on BBC Radio Shropshire. Strouk, who scored the second Leeds goal, plays it forward here down the left. Now James running at Perry. Still James to Byram. Subs have made a difference for Leeds, haven't they, since coming on at half-time, Byram and Strouk. Bayliss about to come back on, so Town have been down to 10 for the last minute or so. That's nice back heel to Paveda. Paveda shoots. Paveda fires just off target. That looked pretty close to 3-1 Leeds United, but it was wide. And Town still in this cup tie. They have a goal kick.
Well, he's a different class when he's on his game, Paveda. Good touch. Just getting away from Feeney onto his left foot, just on the D. Didn't hit the target, but he's a player that has bundles of energy and great pace, that turning pace where he can just go from a standing position to breezing past defenders at all levels, and that was a decent effort in the end.
Well, Bayliss is back out there for Shrewsbury Town. Might have a change on the way though for Shrewsbury potentially here. There's going to be a change, isn't there, from Town, or changes, I should say. Leeds go back to their goalkeeper here. Darlow, who clears first time. Jason Soraya is going to come on, defender, former Barnsley player. So is the young forward, Harvey Watts, but Leeds come forward now with James. James in the penalty area, makes space for the shot. James shot, deflection! And it takes it just off target and past the post. And that will be a Leeds United corner.
Top work by Carl Winchester. Initially tried to force James down the outside. James cut back in onto his right foot though, and Winchester stayed up with him and got a very good block in as the ball just whips past the far post.
Town about to make a triple change here at Ellen Road. We'll look at that in a moment, because first of all Leeds have a corner and they've taken it short to Pervader. Pervader on the right hand side, running at Bayliss. Ball comes in towards the far post. Flanagan wins an important header. Bayliss clears. Leeds volley it back into the penalty area towards Ayling. And the ball will be kept in here by Gelhard, scorer of the Leeds equaliser on the left hand side. Picks out Ampadu, who gets his pass away. We are also going to see Tanishi Subwala coming on for Shrewsbury Town here as part of this triple change, along with Soraya and Watts. Harvey Watts coming on, an academy player. Leeds have given the ball away on halfway, and here's Bayliss moving forward with the ball. Finds Benning. Benning to Bayliss. Ball gets away from him, and Leeds have plenty of players back behind the ball to deal with it. And they play it out to the more central position for the scorer of the Leeds second goal, Pascal Struijk. So Brian Jensen just passing on the instructions to the substitutes who are about to come on. I'm sure this is with an eye to Saturday as well at Stevenage as well. We've got 20 minutes to play.
Yeah.
Saving a bit for Saturday. It's a quick turnaround, isn't it?
It is. They've hung on in there as well, Shrewsbury. Shoot. It could easily have been the case with Leeds being really hot in front of goal, that they could have gone on and scored a third goal, but they've stayed in the game. And so I think the problem is that they're having to commit a lot of people defensively now, but they've lost that outball, they've lost that threat going forwards. And so I think this is the right time to make a triple change. Interesting to see how the shape changes, because it looks like they're taking Feeney off, Winchester going off as well. So this is an attacking change made by Matt Taylor. Of course they're chasing the game, but I think the timing is about spot on, mate. They just got to find a way of taking the game back to Leeds.
So triple change for Shrewsbury Town. Jason Soraya, Tanishi Subwala and Harvey Watts, youth team forward. What a story that is as well, coming on, and the players to go off: Morgan Feeney, Carl Winchester and Tom Bayliss. So Town have made 5 changes now, haven't they, in this second half. No Elliot Thorpe on the bench for Shrewsbury tonight, the Luton lone player. Shay Dunkley is involved, back on the bench, but a triple change for Shrewsbury Town. We'll see how that changes things. Subwala is playing right wing back as we thought he would, coming on as a direct replacement for Winchester. Subwala, who joined Shrewsbury Town in the summer from the Irish club Waterford. So this is a big chance for him to play at Ellen Road, isn't it? So Ryer's replaced Feeney in defence, as Flanagan has some defensive work to do here for Shrewsbury. He does it well. And Watts is playing basically up front in attack alongside Daniel Udo. Harvey Watts, who did feature for the first team in pre-season, came off the bench, and he is now on here at Ellen Road. Big night for the youngster. Leeds leading by 2-1. Shipley, another one of the subs introduced for Town in this second half, goes back to Flanagan, who's had a very good game. Flanagan uses Marosi, who clears long over halfway towards Watts, who's beaten in the air. Flanagan wins a header here, and that's good tidying up from Shipley, just telling his team just to calm things down. Town still in this match when you're only 1 behind, as Town are at 2-1. You've always got a chance. Here they come with Perry. Forward it goes towards the youngster, Watts. Leeds try and win it back. Ball goes out of play. Town have an attacking throw that will be taken here by Subwala down the right-hand side.
Yeah, well, it's quite a long way to go. 17 minutes of the 90. You would think maybe at least another 5 minutes on top of that, so still plenty of time. They've stayed in the game, and now they've made that triple change. Let's see what they can do and how this game can be turned around, because they were desperately needed an out ball. It seems that looks like they've gone with a traditional 3 up top, really. Switched more into a 4-3-3. Shipley's pushing in alongside Watts. Just basically they're trying to get as many players forward as they can, but what they have lost is that high press. That's the problem for them.
So Leeds move the ball over halfway. Byram. James, we know all about his pace, but that's good covering from Anderson. Works it back to Morosi, clears long the goalkeeper up towards Watts, who does well, making it difficult for Leeds. And Udo wins the ball now to Kenner, to Shipley. Nice bit of skill on the ball, but then it gets away from him, and Matt Taylor has the ball at his feet briefly. The Shrewsbury Town head coach, as he runs out of play. Matt Taylor, well used to playing in arenas like this in his own playing days, had many years playing in the Premier League for Portsmouth, for Bolton, for West Ham and for Burnley.
Referee's being pedantic again, having a go at Matt Taylor just for stopping the ball in his technical area and giving it back. Not a fan, Stu. I'm sorry.
Not impressed, are you?
Not a fan.
15 minutes to go. Leeds leading by 2-1 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Shrewsbury, who played splendidly in the first half in particular, to lead at half-time through Taylor Perry. Leeds with 2 early goals in the second half, leading by 2-1. They've gone close a couple of other times. Town finding it difficult to create opportunities in this second half, but they're still working so hard. This much changed Shrewsbury Town team, with 5 players introduced off the bench. James for Leeds. Good challenge from Anderson, but he runs kindly for Gelhardt. And now Leeds with Gray, who looks a talented young player, doesn't he? The 17-year-old in midfield. Soraya with the challenge. A youngster at both Arsenal and Chelsea, Soraya. Most recently he was at Barnsley, young defender. Ball goes out of play. This is his first competitive involvement. He was an unused sub for the Cheltenham game on Saturday. Again, it's sensible management, isn't it, to give some of these young players a taste of this sort of big match atmosphere at Ellen Road.
Well, it leaves you wanting more, doesn't it? If you get a flavour of what it's like, and you're out on the pitch and you look around yourself and you see.
And here come Leeds, ball through the middle, looking for James, and that's good anticipation from Morosi. Excellent starting position for the goalkeeper, and he comes out and clears, and the ball goes out of play, and Leeds have a throw, which is taken by Strauch. Gives it to Creswell. Ball played out to the right-hand side. Daniel Farker will be much happier now than he was at half-time when his team trailed by 1-0. And here's Pervada. Picks out Byram. Leeds, you would expect to be right up there in the promotion race from the Championship this season. They've got a lot of players to come back from injury. You'd have thought they will add players as well during this transfer window. It's a big club to attract players too, isn't it? And they lead Shrewsbury by 2-1. Leeds with Strauch. Ball forward to Pervada. Yeah, very good. Anderson, he's had a good game at the back. And Kenner, back at the ground he knows so well. Big night for him. Spoke to Nohan Kenner about that. Coming back to Leeds after the game on Saturday, he was looking forward to it. And he's played well. They've all played well. Town win it now with the young forward Watts. And again Watts turns away well with the ball. Head down. Watts goes on. Then a couple of Leeds players surround him and win it back for the home side. Leeds slow it down to a very leisurely pace now with Ampadu. 12 minutes to go. Leeds leading by 2-1 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Leeds with Gelhardt. Back into their own half. Leeds to Strauch. Moves forward. All very patient from Leeds. Town doing their best to to stay in the game, and they are very much in this game. But Leeds game management just moving the ball sideways, backwards. And now they look to inject a little bit of pace maybe as they come forward down the right with Shackleton. Ball worked in towards Gelhard. Well won by Soraya towards Udo, and Udo tries to make something happen down the left-hand side as he went down a throw. No, went the other way. It would be a Leeds throw, and it's taken quickly, and it goes back to the goalkeeper. Leeds in front by 2-1. We have 12 minutes to play. Nick Southall.
Yeah, well, still in with a chance here, Shrewsbury. They've made sure that Leeds haven't been able to go on and kill this game off. Again, I've been really impressed by how well they've kept that defensive shape. They just got hit by an onslaught from probably an angry Leeds coming in after the interval, and it's the Leeds that you would probably have expected to have started the game but didn't, and the fans were right on their side as well, so they were up against it, a wall of noise with those 2 goals, but then Shrewsbury have hung on in there. They've made the changes. As yet we haven't really seen them being able to turn that into opportunities, so the outball's got to improve, but Leeds just with the game management slowing things down.
Leeds working forward to Paveda. Not moving too well there, Paveda, as he gets his pass away, but Leeds again out to Ayling. Back into the centre circle to Strauch. And all a bit quieter around Elland Road than it was at the start of the second half, and the fans, I'm sure they had a big part to play as well with their vocal encouragement in Leeds turning it around. They were very, very loud, weren't they, the Leeds United supporters at the start of the second half as Subwala tries to win the ball for Town, pressing upfield towards halfway, but Leeds keep it with James to Ampadu. Lifts it forward, looking for Paveda. Paveda challenged by Subwala, who wins the ball very well, the Town substitute. And he wins Town a throw. Really good defensive play there.
Yeah, it was. Good work by Subwala. And Matt Taylor urging his team to push higher on. I think we will see a change in shape. So looks like they may be going to 4 at the back here as he gestures over to Flanagan. Flanagan being told to hit that long ball early, so this is where Shrewsbury look to step it up a bit, Stu, to try and get back equaliser.
Tad throw taken by Subwala, helped on towards Udo, and now Kenner does well. Kenner wins the ball and Kenner shoots him a long way out, and it's over the bar, but why not? He won the ball and there wasn't too many options further ahead of him. So from, what was he, 35 yards or so, he tried to lift it over the goalkeeper. Would have been a spectacular goal had it gone in, but a bit too high, but a good effort from Kenner.
Yeah, great vision from Kenner there, Stu. Long way out, noticed that Darlow was off his line, would have been a great goal.
Here's James, on the move, down the left-hand side. James still, works it square to Paveda. Paveda tries to make space for the shot, it's been caught by Flanagan. Down goes Paveda. And Leeds will have a free kick in a dangerous position. What are we talking, 22, 23 yards out, maybe a little bit further, slightly left of centre. Flanagan has played very well.
Yeah.
Did catch the Leeds player there, lead free kick in a decent position.
Yeah, Flanagan has impressed in the centre of that 3, really taking a command of that defence. A dangerous position now, this free kick. Good work that was by Paveda. Looks like they're going to make a change, but yeah, this is very dangerous within shooting range.
Big ovation for Paveda as he comes off for Leeds. He's had a good game with 7 minutes to play. And he's going to be replaced by one of their first team regulars, Luis Sinistera, coming on for Leeds United with 6 or 7 minutes to play here.
It's not a bad change, is it? Another exciting player here for Leeds United. Poveda goes off. Kept very quiet in the first half. Had more of an impact in the second half.
Lead free kick then. James likes the look of this, doesn't he? Town have built a defensive wall. Might be James who goes for goal, does go for goal. The wall does its job. Wasn't the best of free kicks, but the wall stood firm. Town clear up towards halfway. Sinistera, who has just come on, signed for a very substantial transfer fee last summer from the Dutch club Feyenoord. He is a Colombian international.
Great pedigree to did well at Feyenoord as well, Stuart. So yeah, that's what the kind of player that Leeds attract.
This is Gelhardt for Leeds on the left-hand side. Feeds it back to Byram. Leeds leading 2-1 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. We've got the verdict to come here on BBC Radio Shropshire. The attendance just being announced: 35,129. 35,129. Leeds could be in on goal here with Sinistera. Sinistera, good block from Town. They got to him and they clear up towards halfway, towards Udo. And good defending again from Shrewsbury Town, who've defended terrifically well.
The crowd around us erupted as soon as he got on the ball there. Just got himself into a decent shooting position, but Shrewsbury defended really well. But all the crowd got up onto their feet expecting a goal, but Shrewsbury keep them at bay.
Here's Sinistera once again. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side. Leeds headed in field. Should be cleared here by Jason Soraya, and it is. Up towards Udo, and Creswell's gone down with Udo in close attendance. It will be a Leeds United free kick. Referee Seb Stockbridge just talking to the Town striker. No action taken. But what a fantastic crowd. We know that Leeds United are a well-supported club, but so often for these early rounds of the League Cup, the big clubs might not get a full stadium. But Leeds, over 35,000 inside Elland Road. Not many empty seats at all to be in reserve tonight.
Well, it's not just the youngsters on this occasion, Stu, on this big stage. I don't think many of the more experienced Shrewsbury players would have played in front of these kind of numbers. So I think this is a great time for them to start the season, get the adrenaline going on the back of a league win against Cheltenham. I think it's been a super night for Shrewsbury.
Town with Soraya. That's a lovely ball down the left-hand side, and Benning could be away here. Town have got players in the middle here. Benning with the ball in towards Udo. Oh, it's been cleared. It was behind Udo and not quite close enough to Perry, and Town had options there. It was a lovely ball from Jason Soraya to play Benning in the first place. Town come forward now with Shipley, 30 yards from goal. Bit of space for Benning, back to Shipley. Shipley with the ball in, oh, too high for the youngster Watts. Nice move from Town down the left-hand side, and Shipley really fizzed it in with plenty of pace. It was a bit too high for Watts, and he goes out for a Leeds throw in the left-back position.
That's really unlucky. He spotted Watts. I don't know how he's done it there, Jordan Shipley, because just watching the replay now, that he was slightly blindsided and wouldn't have seen Watts making that run onto the back post. But as you say, he fizzed it in, and it was just over the head of Watts. What an opportunity that would have been for the youngster at the far post.
Experience of playing in this sort of atmosphere, invaluable for some of these young Shrewsbury players. Benning, one of the more experienced players, coming forward from down the left-hand side to Udo in the penalty area. Goes out of the penalty area now, but he looks after the ball nicely. Gives it back to Soraya, back with Udo. Udo looking to make something happen, looks for the 1-2 with Benning. He couldn't quite get the ball back to Udo. And it's Leeds' turn to turn defence into attack. 3 minutes to play. Leeds move into the Town half. Ball played forward towards Sinistera, and well won again by Flanagan. Get Nick's thoughts on his man of the match. Well, in fact, I'll ask you now, Nick, with 3 minutes to go, who would you give that accolade to here tonight for Shrewsbury Town? Lots of good performances. Who would you go for?
Yeah, there have been, Stuart. I think it's a very difficult one because they've just played so well. I think Flanagan's had a tremendous game in the heart of that defence, just marshalling those around him. But for me, I think not just for his goal, but I think his all-round play. Taylor Perry has applied himself really well. I think, put in a very good performance on Saturday alongside Noah Kenner. On this occasion, I'd go for Taylor Perry. I think he's had a very good game, but there are lots of candidates that you can point out for that accolade tonight.
Yeah, given the quality of the opposition, the occasion, it has been a very encouraging performance once again after what was an encouraging performance on opening day against Cheltenham. Town back in action on Saturday in League One at newly promoted Stevenage. If you're not going down to Hertfordshire, full coverage, of course, here on BBC Radio Shropshire from 2 o'clock. Leeds turn to come forward here. James in on goal here. James, chance for a third, and he's put it into the side netting. Dan James. Angle was always against him, but wanted to add his name to the score sheet. Put it into the side netting. And Town still in this match with a couple of minutes to play, plus who knows how much time added on for stoppages.
It was actually a very tired, poor effort from Dan James, really. He got himself into a decent position, but the angle was always going to be too tight. And instead of pulling it back for one of his teammates, it was a very lazy, tired shot into the side netting. So I don't think Daniel Farquhar will be too happy with that. Let's see how many minutes will be added on, because they're still in this, Stuart.
They are. Town work it into the Leeds half. Leeds win it back. Gelhard looks for the ball through the middle. Out comes Morosi. And a good first time clearance from the goalkeeper. No messing there. Put his right foot firmly through the ball and clears long and into touch. And Leeds will have a throw in the right back position. They play it back to their goalkeeper Carl Darlow. Have your say on the verdict. Give Nick a call. 0808 100 96 96 0808 100 96 96, or send Nick a text 81333 81333. Begin your message with the word Shrop. We will have 7 additional minutes here. Leeds come forward. Gelhard on the turn, 30 yards from goal. Well won again by Soraya, who's done very well since coming on as a sub. He's used the ball well. He's got some good challenges in. The tall central defender. Lots of competition for those central defensive positions, isn't there, at the club? And great to see Shay Dunkley back involved on the bench, albeit as an unused sub for the Town tonight. Leeds with Ampadu, and again Ampadu, who was loaned out by Chelsea a few times during his time at Stamford Bridge and recently joined Leeds on a permanent basis. And Leeds with Strank. Work it out to this left-hand side. Sinistera to James. James turns, and good challenge again from Perry. Nick's choice as man of the match here tonight, and again winning the ball to good effect. Leeds are going to make a late change. Daniel Farquhar wants to make a late change. But lots of positives to emerge for Shrewsbury tonight. Travis Heard's coming in and playing well at 17 years of age in the starting 11, and that first half performance in particular was exceptional, wasn't it, in the circumstances?
It was a brilliant first half, and that's one of the reasons why I gave Taylor Perry man of the match as well, because I think that Shrewsbury won that midfield battle in that first half. They out of possession, kept their shape really well, won the ball in difficult areas, then pressed high when they needed to. There was a real energy about Shrewsbury. They got hit early on in the second half, but haven't been killed off yet by Leeds United, and still they go. And again, that tackle by Perry typifies the night he's had.
It hasn't been a night where Morosi has been flying around having to make save after save. But, you know, you come away to Leeds, a team packed with Premier League international
experience. Well,
it
was only two kind of saves he's had to make. There was one in the first half, the first goal which he saved, but unfortunately parried it to Gelhard, and then the other one, not much he could really do much about. So, as you say, it hasn't been an overly busy night from Morosi.
No, late lead change. Dan James being replaced by Cody Drama for Leeds. Going to add it on time. Leeds have got a player down. I think it's Shackleton who's gone down at the moment. We are into 7 minutes of added on time. We played 2 minutes already. And referee Seb Stockbridge just checking if treatment is required. Perry with the challenge, and Shackleton staying down. He's back to his feet now, but he has had a very good game, Taylor Perry. Great for Perry, who has been out on loan in League One at Cheltenham for the last couple of years. Made a handful of appearances in the Wolves first team off the bench in cup competitions, but this is a big chance for him, and he's given a really good account of himself here tonight. Daniel Farke wants to make another late change. Lewis Bate is going to come on for the home side. Added on time, Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 1 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Ball is back with Darlow, the goalkeeper, who bowls it out. So Bate waiting to come on for Leeds. You're just happy to work it back to the goalkeeper, which is a compliment to Shrewsbury Town, isn't it? The Leeds are just keeping the ball in and around their own penalty area here as we move into stoppage time. Long ball played forward, works its way towards Gelhardt, and they've given it away here. Town look for Udo. Udo out to the left-hand side to Shipley, and he tried to play it to Perry, and it's taken off Perry's toe. Didn't quite reach him, in fact. And I think Udo wanted the ball to come into the penalty area there. And Leeds move up towards halfway. Well won again by Soraya. Nice ball from Perry to the young forward Harvey Watts on the right hand side. Watts low ball in, and it's cleared at the near post by Strauch for Leeds, with Udo waiting to pounce had the ball ran his way. Leeds with Gelhardt, the forward in the left back position. They try and drill it forward. It hits Tanisha Subwala, goes out of play, and that will be a Leeds throw in the left back position. And here comes a late lead change. And Lewis Bate is going to come on for the player who scored the Leeds equaliser, Joe Gelhardt. He's leaving the field to a standing ovation pretty much here at Ellen Road from this big crowd of over 35,000.
I don't think he's had a great game, really. I think that they've kept him quiet. I know he got the goal, but it would have been very difficult to miss from where he was. But I think Shrewsbury have done a big job on Gelhardt tonight, and rather fortunately was in the right place to get the goal from the block save by Marco Morosi.
Ball goes out off Benning, who's set to complete his first 90 minutes, or 90 plus minutes of course, with the added on time. Good addition to the squad, Benning, lots of experience. Most recently at Port Vale, he was part of their team, wasn't he? Promoted from League 2 to League 1 a couple of years ago. Here's Bate for Leeds. Bate turns, comes forward, nice composure, nice bit of skill on the ball, and plays it out to the left hand side to Drama, who's just come on as a substitute, to Byram. Substitutes combining here for Leeds, who turned this game around with 2 goals inside the opening 13 minutes. 2 goals in 6 or 7 minutes effectively from Gelhardt and then from Strauch. They'll be frustrated to have been undone from a corner as well, I'm sure, for the what could be the decisive goal here. But they have given an excellent account of themselves, Town. Leeds attack with Drama, and Subwala turns it forward. It runs kindly for Sinistero, who's in on goal here, and Sinistero's put it over the bar. Big chance for Sinistero. I think Tom Flanagan making the point there that Town should maybe have cleared the ball there, but they were caught. And in the end, Sinistero, player of his quality, might have been expected to have wrapped it up there and made it 3-1 for Leeds. Shot over the bar.
It wasn't good work all round there from Shrewsbury Town. Anderson and Flanagan and Subwala as well, just gifting the opportunity, and squandered chance there for Leeds.
Time almost up. We are into the 7th minute of 7 minutes of added on time here at Ellen Road. Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 1. Leeds played forward. Good covering again from Flanagan, who has been excellent. And Flanagan clears high into the stand opposite, the Jack Charlton stand, which has a capacity of almost 15,000 seats alone, that 2-tiered stand on the far side of Ellen Road. Leeds have an attacking throw. Leeds are closing in on a place in the second round of the League Cup, having turned this one around in the second half, but they have been pushed every step of the way by Matt Taylor's Shrewsbury Town. Town clear up towards halfway here. Had their moments of some possibilities, at least, in this second half, Town, and the final ball, the decision making maybe in the final third hasn't quite gone their way at times. Ampadu for Leeds. Good closing down from Watts here on Byram, and Leeds have to play it anywhere will do. In fact, the free kick is given Leeds' way. The challenge from Watts But again, great experience for Watts coming on as a sub, just like it has been for Travis Hearn starting here for Shrewsbury Town. As some of the locals start to head for the exits, they think their team have done enough to book a place in the second round draw. You can guarantee Leeds fans would have been concerned, especially at half-time, when Shrewsbury went in a goal in front and caused Leeds problems, in particular in that first half. Leeds free kick in the left-back position to be taken here by Carl Darlow. Takes it long, and there is a full-time whistle. And it is Leeds who progressed to the second round of the League Cup as Matt Taylor, Shrewsbury's head coach, having a chat with Daniel Farker, the Leeds United boss. But Shrewsbury have given a terrific account of themselves here at Elland Road. They led at half-time through Taylor Perry. Leeds turned it around with 2 goals early in the second half from Joe Gelhard, and then from the substitute Pascal Strauch. Leeds had some chances to perhaps move further clear, but they weren't taken. In a 2-1, Shrewsbury was still very much in the game. Matt Taylor, who took the chance to make 5 changes in the second half with an eye on Saturday and Stevenage. Shrewsbury gave it everything, and they have given a really good account of themselves against a quality side just down from the Premier League, but in front of 35,129. It is Leeds United who will progress to round 2 of the League Cup as 2-1 winners this evening.
Well, it's been more than a respectable performance from Shrewsbury. I think they've been outstanding tonight, and unlucky not to have taken this game to penalties. OK, didn't have the chances in the second half, but I think on the balance of play, I think they deserve to have taken this to penalties tonight. I think Leeds, in some respects, have got away with it a bit. OK, much improved performance from Leeds in that second half, but first half, it was dominated by Shrewsbury Town. They were outstanding. The possession stats will tell you that Leeds United dominated that first half, but there was none of it at all. The possession they had, they did nothing with at all. And Shrewsbury, they came here with a game plan and executed it perfectly. And really unfortunate, Stu, not to have got something more from this game. I think you'll be speaking to a Matt Taylor who will be very proud of his team.
Well, Matt Taylor and the players getting a wonderful ovation here from the travelling fans who appreciate the efforts they've seen from Shrewsbury Town and the context as well of the opposition and the stage, the arena, and prolonged applause from Matt Taylor and the Shrewsbury Town players and coaching staff to the supporters that it's been returned and then some from the travelling supporters. More than 1,000 of them here tonight. They would have enjoyed the big match atmosphere, I'm sure, of coming to Elland Road. And Shrewsbury have played so well, and that first half performance in particular, they frustrated Leeds. They won the ball a number of times inside the Leeds half and caused Leeds problems, and it was deserved when they did take the lead in the 28th minute as the Leeds players continued to go around the field and are given a lot of applause and congratulations from the home supporters here. But Town in front on the 28th minute. Great run, great moment for Taylor Perry. Drove forward from halfway. It opened up for him, and from just outside the area, took the shot on, took a deflection, and went in off the post. No chance for Carl Darlow, the goalkeeper. What a moment for Shrewsbury Town. Joe Anderson also tested Darlow from distance in that first half. Leeds had had some efforts, but not really an awful lot for Marco Morosi to save. One save from Paveda, but he wasn't flying about having to make save after save. We expected a Leeds reaction in the second half. The fans were at their most vocal at the start of the second half, and within 7 minutes Leeds were level. Paveda breaking into the box, angle shot. Morosi pushed it out, and it fell very kindly to the centre forward Gelhard, who turned the ball in for 1-1. And 6 minutes later the turnaround was complete. A Leeds corner flicked on, and it fell kindly for one of the substitutes, Pascal Strauch, who volleyed hard and low into the net, and that was 2-1 to Leeds, who might have had some further goals late on, some deflected efforts off target, some efforts either over the bar or wide of the target as well. But Shrewsbury at 2-1 still had a chance. I thought the subs all did well when they came on. A great experience, of course, for Harvey Watts, an academy forward to play at Ellen Road. He worked hard for Subwala and Soraya to come on and play well. Udo and Shipley also had their moments. It's Leeds who progress, but Shrewsbury can be very proud of their efforts here tonight at Ellen Road. And now they have to quickly get ready for another away game. It's a challenging week, isn't it, so early in the season? Leeds away on a Wednesday and Stevenage away on a Saturday in League One. But really good effort from Shrewsbury Town. Fantastic first half, and they were still in the game in the second half. But it's Leeds who will progress by 2-1. So we will have reaction to come here on BBC Radio Shropshire. But now it's time to start the verdict.
BBC Radio Shropshire.
The Verdict with Nick Southall.
So, as 35,000 people attempt to leave Ellen Road, it may take some time to leave the surrounding area here in West Yorkshire. And at half-time, the Leeds fans were booing. That's because Shrewsbury, well, they went in with the lead, but unfortunately they got hit by 2 goals early in the second half. That said, it's been a tremendous performance from Shrewsbury Town. Have your say on the verdict. I'm joined with Mary-Kate Wilden tonight. We'll stay on air after 10 o'clock to bring you reaction from the Shrewsbury camp and hear from the head coach, Matt Taylor. But here's the story of tonight's game.
Here's Perry for Town, driving forward, 30 yards from goal. Perry still. Perry takes a shot on deflection, and it's gone in! Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road! Great run from Taylor Perry, and he got to within 20 yards or so of the Leeds United goal. Took a shot on, it takes a deflection, it beats Darlow, and it goes in off the post, and Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road in the League Cup. What a moment for Taylor Perry. Leeds United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1. James flicks the ball forward into the penalty area, could drag towards Baveda, who shoots, pushed away by the goalkeeper. The rebound has been turned in. Seemed to hit Gelhardt. The shot initially saved by Rossi, the goalkeeper, who pushed it out, but the rebound has been turned in, and Leeds, who have been pushing strongly at the start of the second half, shot from Baveda, pushed away by Rossi, and turned in by Joe Gelhardt for a Leeds equaliser. Really important spell in this game, Leeds having just equalised. Here comes a corner from the right towards Ampadu, ball bouncing around, and there's a goal! Leeds in front, and it fell very kindly for Pascal Strauch from close range. He gives Rossi no chance, and Leeds have turned it around here inside the opening 13 minutes of this second half. Town led at the break, but it's now Leeds 2, Shrewsbury 1.
So that's how it ended here at Ellen Road. Reaction to come just after 10 to 10 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. But we'll stay on the air and we'll bring you the head coach's reaction, Matt Taylor. Tonight, alongside me here in the press box at Ellen Road is Mary-Kate Wilden. Mary-Kate, some reaction already on social media, but a night where there are lots of positives.
Yeah, lots and lots of positives tonight. I mean, Travis Hearn's a massive positive for him. You know, his first start for the club at Ellen Road, you couldn't ask for a lot more. Taylor Perry, a brilliant goal as well. He trusted himself so much, backed himself as well. We've seen from the bench, just being able to trust those young players. Harvey Watt's coming on. You know, some really real positives tonight. So get in touch if you've listened or you were here tonight. We've got some reaction on social media. Joe says, good effort, lads. Onwards to Stevenage. James has said, no disgrace at all. Proud of the lads for taking the lead and then battling all the way. Cam said, despite her effort, that was a brilliant performance. Super proud of the boys tonight. On to Stevenage. And Elliot Bennett, we talk about Elliot Bennett all the time, just how much of a cheerleader he is for the club. Straight on Twitter, same as he was last week. As we know, he's out injured at the minute. He's had his appendix removed, but he's been straight on Twitter and said, incredibly tough on the boys. Outstanding effort and implemented the game plan brilliantly. Lots of positives, particularly the first half. Leeds booed off at Ellen Road tells you everything. Recharge and back to league action on Saturday.
So there we go. You can have your say as well. Get in touch with us here on BBC Radio Shropshire. So Shrewsbury losing 2-1. We turn our attentions very quickly to Saturday, where Shrewsbury will be heading to Stevenage in League One. Let's bring you some of the full times from elsewhere in the competition. And, Shrewsbury 2-1 have lost here tonight. Leicester City about to beat Burton Albion by 2-0 at least. 4 minutes of the 90 to go there. In the first round of the Southern section, it was Wimbledon 2, Coventry City 1. Godden had put the Sky Blues ahead at half-time, but 2 late goals for Wimbledon means they are through to the next round. Bristol City hammered Oxford United 5-1. Naismith amongst the scorers there, and 2 goals for Knight. It's full time between Cardiff and Colchester, so penalties are underway between Cardiff and Colchester. There was a late sending off there for Colchester United as well, but that has gone to penalties. Ipswich comfortable winners at home against Bristol Rovers. They won 2-0. In the Champions League, the third qualifying round, Panathinaikos beat Marseille 1-0. So an upset there in the Champions League. Slovan Bratislava were beaten 2-1 at home by Maccabi Haifa. Rangers beat Servette 2-1, so a good win for them. Tavernier giving them the lead from the penalty spot after just 6 minutes. In the Europa Conference League, the third qualifying round, Larnaca from Cyprus drew 1-1 with Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Ghent from Belgium beat Pogoń Szczecin by 5-0. Kuipers with a hat-trick there for Ghent. More reaction coming up then on social media here at Ellen Road. Here's Mary-Kate Wilden.
Yeah, Rachel's been in touch. She said, proud of the lads tonight. We played well, listening at home. Let's get behind the boys on Saturday against Stevenage away. She's encouraging people to get down and encourage the team away at Stevenage. Also, Carl's is saying, he says, after such a brilliant first half, it was disappointing to see how much we dropped off and sat back in the second half. Hopefully Matty drills into them that high press, and we saw that in the first half, that high press, and it must be very, very taxing though for players. They were absolutely on it in that first half, but must be a lot of effort to maintain that. Well,
I think the key thing was that you saw that Leeds obviously came out with traps after probably having a bit of a telling off from Daniel Farker, their manager, at half-time, and you could see that they increased the tempo, and that's very difficult for any kind of team to deal with, whether it's League One, Championship, Premier League. There is some real talent in here. Yes, they haven't got the Patrick Bamfords playing. Cooper's out injured at the moment. They've got all sorts of problems, but they have such strength in depth, Leeds United, that, it was no surprise that the couple of changes they made a real difference. I thought that Striker, when he came on, looked very assured. Sinisterra as well. Again, another player coming in from Feyenoord. Such a talent. But we knew that was the case, even coming here. Shrewsbury would have had the aim of trying to cause an upset, of course, but this has served a real purpose as well, Mary-Kate, in getting very important minutes under the belts of these players. Only the second game of the season, but to get a taste of playing in front of 35,000. I made the point to Stuart that Harvey Watts coming on, for a youngster like that to play in front of nearly a capacity crowd at Ellen Road is quite an occasion. But even the more experienced players, the likes of Flanagan, Shipley, Morosi, I don't think they would have played in front of that size of crowd much in their careers. So again, I think it was the perfect tie for them, really, in this Carabao Cup. Gets the adrenaline going, gets some real interest into this new look team, albeit that, Matt Taylor has come in and inherited some very good players from Steve Cottrell's squad that he built so successfully last season. But I think that the new signings that have come in have looked to be good and complement the players that were already at Shrewsbury, and that is the key for Matt Taylor, to to get that balance right. And it's early days. So far, so good, but a tremendous performance tonight.
Yeah, I suppose if they were going to lose, I suppose this is the way they would have wanted to have gone down, with scoring a goal, and that's inspired. They went ahead, and then to lose, there was no shame in how they lost. There was nothing. There wasn't like they gave up or they were really costly errors. If you were going to lose tonight, this was, if it's the right way to lose, because they showed that effort, and that will endear the fans even more to Matt Taylor and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and look, Leeds got those 2 goals early on in the second half, but Shrewsbury didn't let them go on and score a third, which would have killed them off early. With so much of a game still to go. And I think that's what was really good, that they hung on in there. They stuck to the plan, which I think they executed perfectly in that first half. The problem then was, though, because of the tempo that Leeds were playing at, that they lost that outball. They lost that opportunity to play. Actually, at times in that first half, they were playing the high press and taking the game to Leeds. But they lost the opportunity to do that. And then Matt Taylor made the triple change. It didn't really work, unfortunately. Dan Udoh came on. Good to see him getting some more minutes under his belt. I think they have to be careful with Dan Udoh not to overplay him early in the season. I think it's still a very gradual process for him. ACL injuries, normally they say it's a year until you come back and play. So he is ahead of schedule, which is great news. Good work by the medical team, both the medical team from last season and those that have come in to get him to this situation. And it's good to see them being responsible as well in not playing Dan Udoh for the whole game here. I think they are doing the right thing in managing his recovery well, because the last thing they want to do is to lose Dan Udoh for a period of time, because they missed him last season. What could have been last season, that's in the past now. Had Dan Udoh been there, things may have been slightly different, but I think that on tonight's showing, good to see him back on the pitch, and he'll just get better and better.
Yeah, and we saw again another change in formation, a change in lineup. We saw Tom Bayliss taking on, a more forward role that we haven't seen him play a lot. We've seen him a lot more, kind of holding in that role. But it was kind of, when they set up to start, it was almost like a 3-2-5 with Hearns and Bayliss were both playing very high up, basically next to Bowman, which is something we haven't really seen before, and again shows that they can play and are willing to play a different formation and try new things, because you're never going to know if you don't try.
Yeah, look, I think that they came here with a plan, and maybe people would have expected Shrewsbury to have come here to get everything behind the ball and try and take the game as deep as they could. And yes, for large parts of that first half, they did have to get people back in behind the ball. But what was so good was that in the transition, that the energy from the likes of Taylor Perry, who was my man of the match tonight, it wasn't just for the goal. I think it was it showed a lot of confidence for him to take that shot on, because I made the point to Stuart on commentary that he probably had an easier option with Carl Winchester flying on his right-hand side to lay the ball off into the penalty area. But great to see Perry having that confidence to take the shot on and got his rewards. But I think his work rate in that first half was brilliant. Box to box, got involved in the attacking phase when they could. They played the high press when they could. They forced Leeds into a number of unforced errors, which is very unlike this Leeds team, but are normally very good on the ball. And that was all down to how well Shrewsbury played. So I think you have to give Matt Taylor a lot of praise there for how he set his team up. But he would have said to his team, look, we are not coming here to settle to try and keep it at 0-0. We want to try and score goals. And that's what we saw. We saw I think Marco Morose's distribution was good. I think the outlet on the left worked. I really like Benning. I think he's a player that I've seen a lot of at Port Vale. And I think for that position, if Jordan Shipley is going to play in midfield, which it looks like he will do under Matt Taylor, I think Benning is probably, for me, the first choice there. It would have been an interesting battle between him and George Nurse, whether Nurse was going to play as a centre-back this season or play at left wing-back. But for me, I think Benning is a more natural player in an attacking sense to get forward. So I think he's been a very good signing. So, and still, you know, but Shrewsbury fans are getting their first look, aren't they, at these new players? And I think they'll be pleased with what they've seen. But this is very early days, and the proof in the pudding will be when we get into those winter months to see how strong a squad this really is. At the moment, I find it quite hard to gauge on what the expectations will be, but you know, time will tell.
Yeah, we'll be hearing from the head coach, Matt Taylor, very shortly. So don't go anywhere. We're going to stick with you until we've heard from Shrewsbury Town's head coach. Well, there was 1,225 Shrewsbury fans had made the trip up here today, making up part of the 35,000 fans here at Ellen Road today. It's been a fantastic atmosphere here today for this game. Well, you say it's everyone's getting used to Shrewsbury Town and this new style. This is the first time you've seen them play this season. Obviously, you weren't with us last week. Just what have you made from the new signings you've seen? Just your thoughts, because there has been so much change, and the core of the squad is still similar with your Flanagan, Morosi, obviously Udo coming back. So there are, a lot has stayed the same, but a lot has changed. Just what have your thoughts been?
Yeah, I was impressed tonight. I was impressed. I think that they look very well drilled, extremely well organised. They'll be, when they look back at it, a bit unhappy with the second goal to concede as they did. The one position that I find interesting at the moment, and I'm struggling to really come up with a decisive kind of opinion on it, is Carl Winchester playing at right wing back. For me, it doesn't feel right. I'm not saying it isn't right, and that may be just because we've been so used to Carl Winchester playing in that role, protecting the defence, pulling all the strings in that midfield, being the last man, being the broom, reading the situation, clearing the danger where maybe the defenders aren't in the right positions. Seeing him out in that right wing back position, in particular on a night tonight, I think is a good position for him to be in, because he can nullify the threat from Leeds. And in fact, Leeds, a lot of their attacking play ended up coming down Shrewsbury's left-hand side, because they had it pretty much sorted with Winchester and Feeney over on the right-hand side of defence. I think the key thing is, and again, I think he's got attributes to play in that right wing-back position, because it's a position that warrants a lot of running. And I think that's where Elliot Bennett struggled a bit towards the end of last season, in terms of he had the injuries, the fitness, and why he wasn't quite able to get back into that position right at the end of the season. Because you've got to put in a lot of running there, and I think it needs some young legs. And we know that Winchester is very fit and gets around the pitch very well. Going forwards, is he a kind of player that can tear defences apart, whip the ball in? Well, it's not part of a game that we've seen, so we don't know yet. And I think that's, at the moment, but probably just a question mark in my head about what is the best position for Carl Winchester. But look, I thought he had a decent game tonight. Out of the new players, we've already heard lots of plaudits for Noah Kenner. Again, I thought he was good this evening. Travis Hearns played really well in the first half. For a 17-year-old to play in front of a packed house at Ellen Road, the adrenaline rush, you can imagine. It's very hard. That is a very difficult thing for a youngster to do. And I think he did brilliantly. And I think we have to be careful not to not to expect too much of him early on. When we talk like that, it's a bit like the Tom Bloxham situation. But his time will come, and we just hope that Shrewsbury can take the form that they've been in tonight into Stevenage on Saturday.
We say imagine. I've got a bad back from sitting on this bench. I can't imagine running around for 90 minutes because I've just sat here and I've got a bad back, so I definitely can't imagine running around for 90 minutes. But one thing I did just want to mention, just finally before we hear from the manager, is what you see from Matt Taylor on the sideline. I've never seen a manager talk to his coaching staff as much as I see him. He's always constantly talking to Marcus Bignett, Sean Parrish, Brian Jensen's involved, and if you watch him, it's constant just talking. And when you see it, you can see what they say about it being a collaborative effort between the whole coaching staff, because they are just constantly talking and obviously planning what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, but ultimately he is the head coach, and he's the man that has to make those final decisions. Mickey Moore is down pitch side chatting with Matt Taylor as we speak, and it is a very different feel to how things have been before. And again, these are new beginnings really for Shrewsbury Town, and they've got off to a very good start. And we head to Stevenage with real optimism at the weekend.
Well, before that, let's hear from Shrewsbury Town head coach Matt Taylor.
Matt, what an effort from your team here at Ellen Road. How proud are you of your side tonight?
Yeah, they've given everything. Can't ask them for any more than that. I've said that from day one, from when I came into the building and came into the job. If the players keep giving the effort like they gave tonight, which I know they will do, then we'll keep reproducing performances like that. I thought we were diligent out of possession. I thought the goal that we scored was excellent from stuff that we'd worked on earlier in the week. And, they're an excellent team, and they've had to change at half-time to get them back into the game. I just felt that the goals that we gave away were avoidable, as is every goal. There was an element of luck, of course, in the first one. Second one, I feel we should have dealt with that better as a team with the set play. But I stand here now extremely proud of all the effort that the players have given, and I must make a mention about the fans and supporters. I thought they were unbelievable tonight, right? And for our players to play in front of 35,000 people here tonight, and to showcase just how good they are, and the belief that we have in them as a group of staff. I thought that for moments in that game we were exceptional out of possession. We could have been better at times with a final ball, but you have to understand that when you spend as much time as we did suffering and not having the ball, the players are going to be tired. And the other thing that you have to remember is in 3 days' time we've got another game.
And what a moment when you took the lead at Ellen Road. A lovely moment for Taylor Perry. Great run and got his shot away, and in it went.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful. I think it comes from us blocking up the middle. We win possession back. Tom Bayliss plays a fantastic pass, and then Taylor is off, and I think he did exceptionally well to delay the shot. And when he did take the shot, it took obviously a slight nick, but I felt at that point, for our out of possession work, it probably was somewhere that we deserved. It's just disappointing that going in at half-time leading, that they scored so early into the second half, and then momentum's going to come with that, and to concede from set play was understandably upsetting for all of us. But to a man again, they've given everything. And I'll keep saying it because the players are believing that we're a good team. The opposing manager said to me that tonight about the team. So the players have now got to recover, right? Because we go again at Stevenage on Saturday, which I'm sure will be a different test to tonight, but obviously another difficult game.
And the youngsters, all the team, but the youngsters involved in particular should take much from this experience. You played Travis Hearns from the start. You had more young players coming on as substitute. What about their impact, their contribution tonight?
It's never easy when you're asked to go on to the pitch in a game that is as fast as that against opposition that play as quickly as they do. So I thought each one of the subs was, exceptional in their effort. of course, there's always going to be technical aspects that we can pick apart, but I felt tonight we needed to manage the fixture because we go again on Saturday. The squad, we've got players coming back hopefully for Saturday, so that's a real positive. But the young players that came onto tonight, I thought gave an excellent account of themselves, and they're going to be needed. I think it also shows you that as a group of staff and as a football club, there's a clear pathway for young players here, and that's important also because we need to continue developing our own, and they're definitely going to get an opportunity to play.
And the fact you included Travis Hearns in your starting 11, does that just underline the great confidence, that the belief you have in him to put him in at a place like this?
Well, you know, Travis had tonight to either really accept the opportunity that he was given or go under. I don't think he went under. I think he accepted it, and that's wonderful to see. With young players, you never know until you expose them, and you expose them to this tonight. It's a huge ask. And I just felt that physically, towards the 50th minute, 55th minute, he had given everything. Therefore, we were more than happy with his performance tonight. I felt that he handled the atmosphere really well. I felt that he handled the ball exceptionally well. He's getting better with his understanding of what we want in and out of possession. But what I like about Travis is he can handle the ball in tight situations, and he's only 17 years old. So for him to have the experience of playing here tonight will most definitely make him a better player.
Did you enjoy the atmosphere? Big noise, wasn't there, from around Ellen Road, 35,000 plus here? Well,
the biggest noise was when they scored, and I didn't enjoy that. But in terms of, you know, development for our group, for our players to play here tonight, I think is great. There will be bigger games and big games in our league where we will be playing in front of 25,000, 30,000. So therefore, this is a great, you know, opportunity for them to sample what that looks like. But again, you know, I have to mention our fans. I thought they were brilliant. Even though they were outnumbered quite heavily, you could hear them singing all night.
You didn't get on, but encouraging to see Shay Dunkley on the bench tonight. A good sign that he's getting closer?
Yep, Shay's obviously the club captain. To have him back in and around the group and to be on his way back to full fitness, we're extremely pleased about. We're hoping now that the next game, you know, can we step him up this week so he's ready for Saturday? Yeah, we'll try and do that. Of course he will. So, no, good to have him back in with the group. Good to hear him in the changing room. It's the first time, obviously, been around him when he's been in the squad. I think his behaviour he leads by example, and that's what we want, especially for our younger players to see that.
Just a final couple of quick points. No Elliot Thorpe in the squad tonight. No Max Matter either. What's the latest with those two?
Elliot's got a scan tomorrow morning, I think, on an issue that he's got in his back. So we don't quite know the extent of that injury yet. And I'm going to answer this the same way I answered it Saturday. We don't know where we are with Max. We're still waiting for a work permit and we're still waiting for the Home Office. So I said it Saturday. It gives us an opportunity to get some real work into him. I think it would be great for Max to see tonight what is expected of our centre forwards, especially when you play in a game like this. But Max is really, really desperate to get into the squad and to be able to play, but unfortunately that's out of our hands.
Well done tonight. Thanks for your time, Matt.
Thanks.
The thoughts of Shrewsbury Town head coach Matt Taylor here on BBC Radio Shropshire. You can listen back to that interview as well on BBC Sounds. Just search BBC Radio Shropshire. Well, that's all for here from tonight as Shrewsbury Town bow out of the EFL Cup to Leeds United. They lost 2-1 on the night, and coming up next they face Stevenage away on Saturday. That's all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us from Ellen Road. Good night.
Here's Perry for Town, driving forward 30 yards from goal. Perry still. Perry takes a shot on deflection and it's gone in! Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road! Great run from Taylor Perry, and he got to within 20 yards or so of the Leeds United goal. Took a shot on, it takes a deflection, it beats Darlow and it goes in off the post, and Shrewsbury lead at Ellen Road in the League Cup. What a moment for Taylor Perry. Leeds United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1. James flicks the ball forward into the penalty area, could drag towards Baveda, who shoots, pushed away by the goalkeeper. Turned in. Seemed to hit Gelhardt. The shot initially saved by Rossi, the goalkeeper. He pushed it out, but the rebound has been turned in, and Leeds, who have been pushing strongly at the start of the second half, shot from Baveda, pushed away by Rossi, and turned really important spell in this game. Leeds having just equalised. Here comes a corner from the right towards Ampadu. Ball bouncing around. Leeds in front, and it fell very kindly to Pascal Strake. From close range. He gives Rossi no chance. And Leeds have turned it around here. Inside the opening 13 minutes of this second half. Town led at the break, but it's now Leeds 2,